What's up, YouTube? How are you doing? to have you here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. It's time for some Elliott Wave analysis, sharing some insights. And just before the live stream, not sure if Bones is here. I don't think so, but I've been testing the signature on the blue shirt because Bones is the only one that's left. That still needs to get the Koens t-shirt with regards to the giveaway. And Bones likes to have a signature. Now, of course, I'm testing on a different color blue. This is lighter than this, right? But I'm just testing, and I wonder what you guys think. My signature is not finished, so I've been messing around. So the upper one was a quick one. The lower one is more like doing the same line multiple times, and it's not finished. I think it is pretty okay with regards to blue and green because Bones wanted green. If Bones is here, I'll show him. But yeah, I think that looks good. I don't see it in the back, you know. So if you're new here, in the beginning of a live stream, we always just do a little bit of messing around in real life. You know, what's happening in the background of the channel, I suppose. So yeah, testing. Okay, there we are. The charts as we know them. Oh, by the way, I also got myself an office plant. The office plant is called D. It doesn't need any water once a week. Now, I simply got it. I got this one because it was standing downstairs. But I was like, I like to have a plant on my desk. I want a small one. So I got this one. Just took it from a living room, basically. A small little plant, little bit of greenery. I love plants. We love plants in general, like green in the house. So, okay, in this live stream, what we're gonna do is cover Elliott Waves, where especially this range is going to be of interest. Now, what you see on the chart is all the levels that I have around price turned on. So everything you see here is everything that I have. Where currently we are testing the point of control of the range that we have been in over here, as you can see. So if you're interested, you can always copy the levels, but it would be good to also practice with what they mean and eventually build some experience with how they're respected. But we're going to cover Elliott Waves, and let's see. I'm going to turn everything off. Keep the box on. There we go. Cool. So how are you doing, everyone? How are you doing? Mark, maybe a Band-Aid. What's up? Cheers, by the way. Maybe a Band-Aid here. Craig, welcome. Bina, welcome. Ushia. Yeah, some moves. That's true. Matthias, welcome. Eric Malon, welcome back from a holiday in the south of France. How was it? How was it? And are you going to move to the south of France as well? Christian, Ace Winner, Crypto Man, Perkyo, Errol, Rob, how you doing? How you doing? Feel the beat of the opening tune. Ace Winner as well. Yeah, it's a nice beat, eh? Bettina, what's up? How you doing? Bettina, did your shirt or your hoodie arrive already, by the way? Umar Hayat, good to have you here. Dawa Parames, Ramjack, good to have you here. Big Ladusky, Big D. Good to have you here, Dawa. Yo, what's up? Makram, Nodo, welcome. Got dragged out yesterday to the beach. I think it did me some good. It is nice to have a break from the chart, especially during complex ranges like this one over here, which is turning out to be a complex ranging structure for sure. So it's not, and besides, the beach is nice. I really like going to the beach. So at least bare feet. I don't really like having sand everywhere, but I'm new for your team. You're probably a new subscriber, but yo, new one, welcome. Good to have you here. So, okay, let's start, shall we, with the Elliott Wave analysis. And I'm gonna decide if I am going to, now I'm gonna, what time frames are we gonna do? For me, the local time frames are more important. So I think we'll just stick to what we see here. This is currently the most important area anyway. So I think we're just gonna stick around. The higher time frames haven't changed. It's mainly about what's happening on the lower time frames, and especially in this particular range. So yeah, we're gonna start on the 1 hour. I do have a, let's see, I had a new count somewhere. Maybe I didn't save it. Let me quickly put it back on the chart. And I will explain it later. It's interesting that somehow I managed to get rid of it. Anyway, we have then... I will explain this in a little bit. So this one will still need more explanation, but I'll get to that. I'm gonna make these purple, by the way, pink. Just a little bit, oh, my mouse, a little bit of live analysis before I start the summary. Put that one in there. Very nice. Have a quick look at the CVD divergences, see what is happening here as well. This one now went there. Now we still have bearish CVD as well. Possibly some 5 min. Oh, we had 3-minute bearish CVD, but you also have potential bullish. So oh no, that was 5 min. Okay, 5-minute bearish, but that one already played out. You may have some local bullish CVD here, but okay, we're gonna cover everything now. Starting with the bullish scenario, no? Not yet, but there's something waiting for me at the post office. Okay, okay. It should have arrived at your house, but I guess if it arrived at the post office, maybe, I mean, I copied the address that you gave me, so I'm not sure how that works. But hey, nonetheless, as long as it arrived, it arrived. Many others already received it, so that's good to hear. So yeah, let me know. Price action crazy. Yeah, it's a complex range. What's up, Bobby? Okay, 1606. Thanks, Mark. 16. Oh, Central European time. Ah, yeah. I always look at the live stream. 14:30. Let's start with the Elliott Wave analysis. So the bullish scenario here is that you have a finished 1 or W to the upside. You look for a corrective structure in X or 2, and then continuation to the upside in a wave 3 or a wave Y. Now, in this scenario, the impulse is a 1, 2, and then 3, 4, 5, right? You're going to be looking for new highs. Wave 1 in this case has to be a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 wave structure. A finished impulse finishing over here. It is not an ideal impulse on the lower time frames. Forget about the wick. That's a scam wick, like a 1 second, up and down. So we don't take that into account. But inside wave 1, we need a 5 waver. 1, 2, 3, sideways, 4, and a 5. Okay, that works, right? No overlap between 1 and 4. That's fine. But inside your wave 1, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, the wave 3 and the wave 4 are a little bit meh. Because inside your wave 3, you then have... I need to put this on the chart just to make clear what we're actually talking about. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, and then 5. And inside wave 3, we're of course looking for a 5-wave structure, right? So inside 3, we then have a 1 and a 2. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 4, 5. We need another 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's not an ideal wave 3 finishing here. So we have a range. We have a range, so potential 2 and a 4. If we want to end the wave 3 here, then preferably you had another wave 2. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Yeah. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. Preferably another 4 and another 5, which we didn't get. So it's not an ideal wave 1, let's say, compared to a WXY. I realize I go too much in detail maybe, but that's what live streams are for as well. Anyway, bullish scenario 1, 2, 3 or WXY. The common target for your wave 2 is the 05 to the 786, 67.9, 66.9k, right? The uncommon target for wave 2 is the 382, which is touched, as you can see, acting as support nicely, actually, 68.3k. The 886 is very rare for wave 2. You don't want to hit it. Then you're going to be looking for a 3 to the upside. The reason I also have a WX and a wave Y is because of what I explained just now with the wave 3 here not being an ideal structure. A wave A, B, C does work nicely, and an ABC actually counts better here compared to an impulse, because on the lower time frames what we can count is a wave A, a 3 wave B, and then a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And now your wave 3 is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 finished. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Perfect, right? So that is your ABC in this case. And in an impulse, you basically, like, you miss a little bit. Like, this is your 2, but you're missing a wave 4. Preferably for an impulse, we made another 4 and 5, but we didn't get it. We moved to the downside, touched a high for a 1 in a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, invalidating that scenario. So now wave 1 has to finish here, pretty much, right? Now in a WXY, your common target area is the 382 to the 886, which is an area that we have touched because the 382 has been touched for your wave X. You're going to be looking for Y to the upside, and in this case, you're then preferably looking for a double zigzag of 535 to the upside for then a WX and then a wave Y. As long as the 0.7 fib is not hit, a double zigzag is a possibility. The moment you hit the 0.7 fib taken from the low to the high of 1 or W, it significantly reduces the probabilities for a double zigzag. Now, oh wait. It is here. I just called it micro. Okay, there we go. Now inside your wave 2 or your wave X, we need to count a 3-wave corrective structure, a finished 3-wave corrective structure. And currently on the chart, I have a WXY, which is a complex sideways double combo consisting of 3 structures: WX, potentially finished or yet to be finished, and then a wave Y to the downside. This move to the upside here is very much a 3-wave structure, and that increases the probabilities to sooner or later take the low here. The only way that doesn't happen is if wave Y doesn't take the low of W. And it is not a requirement for wave Y to take out the low of W. It can end above the low of W. It's just less common that it does. So, and we also touched the 886 now from this low to the high here. And the 886 can be a target for a wave Y to then bounce and continue. Again, it's just less common, right? Commonly, wave Y ends below your wave W. So this is something we take into account. Now, what we're looking for here is inside wave W, a zigzag structure in a wave A, B, C, alternatively a flat, and it does make a difference. So primary would be an A, B, C inside your W here, right? With then a finished 1, 2, 3 sideways 4 and a 5 to the downside inside C. Wave X to the upside, but if this is the high of your X and this is a Y, it's a weird Y, because a wave Y can only be a zigzag, 535, a flat, ABC, or a triangle. Now clearly what we have over here is not a triangle. We also at the moment don't really have a zigzag, and also a double zigzag in a WXY double zigzag structure, ABCW, X, and then another ABC and Y, has lower probabilities because your wave X retraced to the 0.7. And the moment the 0.7 is hit from the start to the end of W, it significantly reduces probabilities for a double zigzag. Increases the probabilities that in your wave Y, you're going to be looking for a flat or a triangle. Now, as at the moment, it is way too early to call for triangles. A flat is interesting, at least as long as your X is finished here. A potential flat can always be on the cards with a wave A, B, and then a wave C. I do struggle with wave B in that case, because if we're looking for a wave A, B, C, then inside your wave B, you have an internal flat. A, B, C. Right? Minimum target for a flat is the 0.9. We haven't touched that yet. Sitting at 69.2K. Now, an internal flat, A, B, C, in a bigger flat, A, B, C, is very rare. Very, very rare. It's so rare, like, I look for other structures. It doesn't really make sense. Wave B in a flat is by far most commonly a zigzag family structure. So it's a 535 or a double zigzag WXY instead of a flat. So this ABC for a flat in a bigger A, B, C, and Y has, for me, low probabilities, or for me, from an Elliott Wave point of view, low probabilities. So, zooming out again, if we have a zigzag in W, we can only really have a double zigzag if wave X doesn't hit the 0.7, but it did. So low probabilities for a WXY double zigzag. If we look for a flat in wave Y, we have a wave A, we need a B and a C. But in wave B, we then have an expanding flat, which is very rare, leaving us with a triangle, but it's way too early to call triangles. So therefore, I would then prefer to move this wave X to the right, and wave X is then by itself a complex structure in a W zigzag X, Y flat. All right, this is complex upon a complex. Okay. It's all probabilities in the end. So we have W, X, Y, to finish X. And then you still get Y. In this particular scenario, you would not be finished yet. Gotta say that this low as well looks wave B-ish, right? It's like a wick below the low. You grab the liquidity here with a wick and move towards the upside. So we'll see. You know, we first have to see some proper signs of weakness. We do have bearish CVDs, but we also have bullish CVDs. So local price action will give us all the info. But this for me makes the most amount of sense at the moment, right? Where you have your W, WXY in X, and then you look for a wave Y, which then either is a flat, A, B, C, or a triangle, which is a continuation of the range. Now that can mean that in the upcoming days, if that would play out, on Thursday you might actually see some sort of a breakout. That will take a while, so hopefully that's not the case. Hopefully we're already out of this range by that time. But we do have some news on Thursday, which might accelerate some things. So this is the bullish. So this is of course the bullish scenario. The bullish scenario is that this is a complex sideways structure. instead of a bearish structure. It is very difficult to end a WXY at this particular low. Because in that case, so this looks like a three-wave structure up, and that is most important. A, B, C. No. If you would do a W, X, no, and then a Y, doesn't really work nicely. Yeah, probably roll with the count that I've just shown as the highest probability locally. Now that might mean you come back down at least once more. It doesn't have to be, of course. A, B, C, D. Yeah, triangle also doesn't work. A, B, C, D, or A, B, C, D. Your E went below here, so that invalidates a triangle. So yeah, it's not ideal, but so far there's no signs of weakness. Green candles, CVD is moving to the downside, so we're moving to the upside, which is also still the highest probability on a 1 hour time frame. So what we're doing here is, of course, a little bit nitpicking, right? Very low time frame, but yeah, we're trying to make sense of this range, which has a complex feel to it. Now, the bearish scenario on the 1 hour time frame is an expanding diagonal, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails. We have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Wave 3 went to the common target, the 1.272 to the 1.38, taken from the start to the end of 1 to the end of 2, which is a nice area of support for wave 3, which was also in confluence with the target box, if you remember. And yeah, then we preferably have a nice zigzag in 4, not taking out the high. Taking out this high would significantly reduce probabilities for this scenario, because then a wave 4 has to be a double zigzag in a WXY, but then the probabilities are high you're going to take out the high here. So in other words, taking this high at 69.6K increases the probabilities to take out this high at 70.6K. And if we then look at the resistance areas, then just above that level, we have 71.1K to 70.8K as an area of additional resistance as well. Now, there's a few minor levels to keep in mind. I mean, minor, the weekly naked point of control at 70K is a bigger area of resistance, but we'll see how price reacts. We have a daily, right? We already hit this red point of control, so let me remove it. Then we have another point of control of this range, weekly naked point of control, and then 70K. Now, arguably, in this case, I should probably have done that before the stream. I would add an extra box here, as we have a couple of confluences quite close to one another. But in particular, that weekly naked point of control, that is one that I do like to remind myself of. So that's why I put it in the box here. Then we have the range POC and the range value area high. And then we'll just wait and see how price reacts in that area. And now that I have it on my chart, I can remove this and keep the box. So we have a nice clear area of resistance, nice area to observe what price does. Passing this, we're going to be looking for that, right? Very easy trading, level to level as well. Locally, if this is the high of your wave 4 in the expanding diagonal, right, we're going to be looking for a wave 5 to the downside, which means impulsive structures, because a wave 5 has to be a zigzag, which is a 5-3-5 wave structure. In that case, if this is the high, you want to count either an impulse diagonal or a double or triple 1-2 to the downside from this high. An impulse would mean a wave 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. no overlap between 1 and 4. But as you can see, there's so much overlap here, and we don't really have a clear impulsive structure line. 1, 2, and then what? 3, 4, 5. I mean, overlap everywhere, right? So the impulse doesn't have the highest probabilities here. So then we have to think about a diagonal. Okay, 1, 2, 3, 4. We don't yet have 5 in that case. We're still looking for a 5, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, and then a 5 to the downside. However, doesn't really matter how we're going to count a diagonal. It's always going to be an expanding structure. And an expanding diagonal is rare, never preferred, unless all of these scenarios fill, all of the other scenarios, which means your wave x/2 has to fill by taking out the low for an expanding diagonal to get the highest probabilities. So in other words, your wave x/2 will always have the highest probability unless you take out the low, which is your invalidation. But an expanding diagonal compared to a WXY or 1, 2, 3 is simply lower probabilities from an Elliott Wave point of view, sticking to the rules and the guidelines here. So in other words, the probabilities are higher to take the high before maybe at a later stage take the low, yes or no. But yeah, diagonal, expanding diagonal here, low probabilities, as it's just a rare scenario, never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails, which then leaves us with a double or triple 1, 2. In a double or triple 1, 2, you want to see wave 1, 2, 1, 2, maybe another 1, 2, and then a sharp move to the downside. You don't want to range for a long period of time. You want to have a bit of overlap, ranging structure, and then bam, to the downside. That's what you're going to be looking for. Now your wave 1s have to be impulsive structure. Impulse, correction, impulse, correction, impulse, correction, boom, right? That's your wave 3. Okay, well, let's see. Impulse, correction, potential impulse here, correction, arguably another impulse, or this is a bigger correction, but then you want to see a sharp move down. Now, in this case, you're then labeling, somewhere 1 here, 2, 3, 4, 5. Right? So we're going to put this scenario on the chart. Then we have another 1, somewhere 2 here. Right? And then 3, 4, 5. Okay. The invalidation is taking this high. A soft invalidation is hitting the 886 because for a wave 2, the 886 is very rare. Never preferred, right? The 886 is a common target for a B or an X, very rare for a wave 2. So if price moves up a little higher, hits the 886 at 63.4K, it soft invalidates this scenario just because it is so rare for a wave 2. Also, this second wave 1 is a lot longer than your first wave 1 in price and time, which reduces the probabilities for a double 1, 2. It's not an invalidation, but it does have an impact on the probabilities. The fact that your lower degree wave 1 is longer, because in green you have a 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and then inside your green 3, we have the blue 1, 2, and then another 3, 4, 5 expected. But your blue 1 is longer in time and price than your higher degree green 1. Lowers the probabilities, not an invalidation, it's not ideal. So that also impacts the probabilities of the double 1, 2. Which therefore, again, increases the probabilities for price to move to the upside to take the high before the low. However, I do keep an eye on WXY support and then a potential move. If we see signs of strength, right, we have a support box here, 67.8, 68K. We have a little bit of support around 67K, by the way, for your information. That is a value area low, not high. And an order block, yeah. So you have a 1 hour order block here, and you have the value area low, and that's that pretty much, right? And then in confluence with the 0.7, oh, 0.7 golden pocket. So that is your final area of support to the downside. So yeah, keeping an eye on this at least. Of course, if you do move up, that's fine, no problem. But if we move down once more, I'm prepared, right? And that's all we can do. Probabilities. It's all probabilities. So yeah, probabilities are higher to take the highs before maybe at a later stage someday the lows. Targets. To the downside, upside, I've spoken about resistance. With regards to a WXY, take a trend-based fib from the low to the high of W to the low of X, because that's going to be your lowest target. A wave 3 usually extends to much higher prices, so you would expect it to pass the common target area for your wave Y. The common target for your wave Y, as long as this is the low of your wave X. Now it would be between the 0.618 and the 1-to-1, which is always the case, but price-wise, 70.1k to 72.3k. That's your common target area. Extension target would be all the way here at 73, but it's lower probabilities for a wave Y to hit it compared to a wave 3. If you make another low, the targets will shift to the downside, of course, as then you take it from the low to the high of W to the new low of your X or 2. But that is something we only know if we're looking for a Y or a 3 to the upside once you actually get the move to the upside, right? Then you're going to check the volume, impulsivity, how is price reacting at the resistance areas? Do we see bullish, bearish CVD divergences? What is the structure? Do we see a clear 5-wave impulse, or is it a 3-wave move for a Y? That's stuff that we can only figure out once price actually then takes the highs in that case, right? So yeah, that's pretty much it. We do have CVD divergences on the chart. Bullish CVD here already played out, but the only reason I have this one on my chart is to show that the bigger one here is a second CVD. So with the drop that we had here, the range down, we did get another bullish CVD on the 1 hour time frame, pretty much. However, the more CVDs you get with the same pivot, the lower the probability. So I do like to keep an eye on more local structures as well. And here we do have bullish CVD as well. Even though we did hit the 886, it has an impact. Target for the bull disc would be taking out this high here locally. For the bigger bullish divergences, it's taking out this high. Now, if price does move to the downside, it still has enough, more than enough room. Right? We know that it only hit the 382. You could still go 05, golden pocket, 786, even the 886, but preferably not. Because your best support is around the 05, and then arguably your golden pocket areas, lower 67k area. And then this bullish divergence here will simply change to the new low, wherever that low is going to be. So yeah. We do have some news later this week, so not today, as far as I know, at least, not following this website, Thursday and Friday. This is Trading Economics. I think I have the link in the description, if I'm not mistaken. 3-star impact, only US, and then this is the only thing I look at. I don't look at what it is, and I don't look at all the numbers, can as well be removed. I only look at the date, and I look at the time, because I can expect potentially some more volatility, so I got to make sure I trade safe around those times. So yeah, that is it with regards to the probabilities. Short open, no. I do not have any shorts open. If you are in the setups channel, I had indeed a potential short opened here, just in case for 1 2 1 2, and then look for a move to the downside. But once we wicked the low and we started moving up, that is when I wrote in the trading setups channel that I put my stop break even. All right, so price is here moving towards the upside after wicking the low, and that was the moment I was like, I moving up, I'm not really feeling staying in that short. So that's when the stop loss went break even, stop loss at break even hit. Of course, I'm interested in longs. I know exactly what I'm looking for with regards to new long positions. And I'm just being patient to see if price is going to give me what I'm looking for, yes or no. So yeah, that's it. Ta-da! Elliott Wave analysis at, I think we started in the live stream at least 14:30. Now chatting and oh. Come on, Koen. Q&A. There we go. Pin the message. So if you hit this 886, it almost like fully invalidates a double 1-2. Very rare for a double 1-2 to take out or hit the 886. So that only puts more eggs in the basket of the bullish scenarios, taking out this high before maybe later the low. But if you take out this high, probabilities are higher to take out this high. Increasing probabilities to move to is 71k. So any chance of 64k? Not before you move up, at least for now. Probability wise, the probabilities as mentioned are higher to move up. So 64k is then not on the agenda unless you first finish a wave Y. That's your bearish scenario, of course. Your WXY is bearish because then you expect a continuation down at a later stage. But you don't know if you're going to get a WXY or an impulsive structure to the upside just yet. Depends on the move up in that case. So 64k is not relevant until you finish a second leg to the upside in Y or 3, or you get the expanding diagonal playing out. But an expanding diagonal is rare, never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails. So at the moment the probabilities are not on the side for an expanding diagonal to happen. I don't use heat maps now myself. Have a quick look. Where were we? Time. I wrote down the time. Yeah, thanks, Mark. They leave information in the mailbox out of laziness. They don't even call their apartments. Wow. Interesting. So how did you figure that one out, that your package arrived? Or probably that's my package, I guess. Jeremy, how you doing? Welcome. Hyop, Kevin, what's up? Yeah. What kind of analysis is this? This is Elliott Waves. Elliott Wave theory. It is a type of analysis where, I mean, this is with every type of analysis, but you use previous price action to, you use previous price action to figure out the highest probability of future price action. However, it's more specific in that you look at the individual waves, you look at the structures, right, on the chart. So you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or A, B, C. Different numbers, different letters are involved. It's a complex strategy. It takes a while to master, not gonna lie. But it's a very good tool to have in your toolbox if you want to get better in reading the chart, which helps with the probabilities down the line and your trades. So yeah, Elliott Waves is a very good prediction tool compared to many other types of analysis. Yeah, it's a very useful tool to have. And you can trade it, of course, as well. Inflation data should be an interesting day. One more, absolutely. Good morning. What's up, Adam? Happy Memorial Day, if you recognize it as a holiday. Oh, is it Memorial Day? If so, oh wait, I think I read something about it in Discord that the U.S. market is closed today. I didn't know why, but I guess that's the reason. So yeah, to all the people in the U.S., happy Memorial Day. There's innovation. How much high are the possibilities that a bearish expanding diagonal is happening due to the transitional times for Bitcoin and ETH, while ETH ETS approval allow a high competition against Bitcoin? Well, that is a bit like, that's far thinking, fundamentally mainly, which is out of my type of analysis. So I don't analyze ETH as much as I do Bitcoin. So I very much focus on Bitcoin, as that gives me all the info I need to trade. Now, with regards to the probabilities of an expanding diagonal, whatever happens fundamentally, it will remain a low probability scenario unless your XOR2 fails, which therefore means the low is your invalidation. And and that's unrelated to what happens with ETH and transitional times and the ETF. I'm not sure what the status is with the ETF. I thought it was already approved last week or something, but also higher competition, and that, like, Bitcoin remains by far the highest, the most liquid asset, and ETH, if you see ETH as an altcoin, it's the probably most liquid altcoin. And with the ETF, that liquidity might improve, but it's still very small compared to anything related to Bitcoin. So it doesn't, the fundamental side of things does not impact my my probabilities, but it is interesting to think about it. But it's not very relevant for the probabilities. Look, an expanding diagonal is a scenario, and it can play out. It just has the lowest probabilities. Doesn't mean it can't happen, but from an Elliott Wave point of view, unrelated to the fundamentals, it's a rare structure. And if it does play out, well, we got more clarity. And if it does play out and one is in a long 1% risk, stop loss below the low, in that case, you have a 1% loss. Well, we got more clarity. If you do get an expanding diagonal, in that case, you're going to be looking for at least a bigger three-wave structure. So you're going to be looking for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and this is going to be your wave A or your wave 1. So then every next move up is going to be short potential. But then you do have to move down now. And then you just get a better short as price is moving to the upside and retracing. So that's probabilities, but of course also risk management when trading. In my case, I always risk 1% with my position. I don't care how big my stop loss is. Swing trading, day trading, it's just 1%. I kind of got used to it. Also makes calculating easy. What's up, Suhail? How are you doing? Answer this, answer that. Answer this, of course. I was thinking it could break down hard. Most people seem to be long. I think so I guess if we do think about a bit of fundamentals, what could be interesting with regards to the US market being closed is this scenario. That would be quite interesting, though, where you continue ranging sideways for the whole day. US is closed. You're just going to be hanging around in this range. You got your finished W, soon to have a finished X, move down in a wave Y over here, maybe a nice little flat, grab the liquidity of the highs, move down impulsively, fake out a very bearish move to the downside tomorrow, US open, grab the liquidity, right? Maybe even hit the resistance, weekly naked point of control hit, move to the downside for your wave Y. This is a wave C because wave Y is a flat, and then a wave A, B, C, pop, move down, take the lows of the range, hit support, and then bloop, move up again. Yeah, it would be interesting with regards to the US market, at least, being closed. But we continue to observe the range. If you take out these highs and immediately move down again, the probabilities remain higher to then go back up. Probabilities even increase to go up. Expanding triangle, wave B. Oh, expanding triangle is very rare, never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails. It's a very, very rare structure. So in that case, I really recommend to first look for other structures. I'm not sure, so I guess, what wave B are you looking at, by the way? You're looking at this structure here? So I guess what you're doing is labeling this A, B, C, but then we miss a D and an E in that case. A, B, C, D, E, I guess is then your scenario. So this would be your count. So this is very low time frame stuff, because you would need to dig into the 5 minute to look what's happening here. So it's not impossible. You definitely have the trend lines that can support an expanding triangle, even though it is of course a very rare structure. So if this would be your A down, then you need to have A, B, C, D, E. So you need to have A, preferably actually this is your low, A, B, C, D, E, instead of A. B is then a double zigzag, but a double zigzag in B is rare. Well, yeah, I mean, it's kind of unheard of, because if one structure is complex, it's usually C and not B or D. So it's C or D instead of B. Because counting this as an impulse is very much a three-waver, so preferably you end it here, but then you have A, B, C, D, E, but your B is now 1, 2, 3. Correction, you need another three-waver in here. It's more likely to have a WXY in here than an expanding triangle. Also knowing that an expanding triangle is incredibly rare. I've not yet encountered one really in my, not as I can remember at least. I know that in the book of Frost and Prechter there is one scenario where they counted an expanding triangle. But also there they say it's incredibly rare to have that. Yeah. But it's a nice idea. It's a fun idea. Absolutely. Also, welcome, by the way, Crypto is sharing it. BNB, welcome. Tortuga, what's up? How are you doing? You got a mail. Okay, I see. So at least they send an email. That's something. Agent J, how are you doing? Approved, not yet trading. Few weeks, months, ETA before it starts. Okay, I see. So it takes a while before they implement it. So it's approved, but not yet active. Thanks, agent. I see. So a few more weeks. Probably when the ETF goes live, it will give some more volatility on probably all of the charts. Stefano, welcome. 008Z, how are you doing? Crazy potato. Crazy potato. Potato, welcome. Good morning. Good to have you here. The Agreeable. Hello, KN traders. Arrived 25 minutes late. No problem. Do you trade in weekends and bank holidays? Yes. If there is a setup, there's a setup. So I do whenever probabilities are in my favor and I see a good risk to reward ratio like setup. Of course, during the weekend, the probabilities might be a bit lower for that to happen. So let me check, because I actually posted it in the Koens trades. 1 second. So this was last week, pretty much last week. So I didn't really, I haven't been active. What is this? This is set 25 was Saturday, right? Yeah, no, 25, yeah, 27, 26, 25. Yeah, so daily naked point of control, short win. I took this one on stream, by the way. I was during the live stream. So this was 3-minute bullish CVDs, of course, bouncing on top of support, exactly what I was looking for, move up. And break even here, expecting continuation. We didn't get continuation. We only got a wick and moved back inside the range. So I closed like in this sideways structure. And had a long here, took a TP1, and the rest was break even. And then the rest of the weekend, I was not involved. This was not price action that led me to trade. Of course, I keep an eye on the chart, but I wasn't involved. The first involvement I had was this morning, which was a break-even trade. So because I, just in case we did have some like a 1-2-1-2 and then continuation down, where this is a three-wave structure by the looks of things, right? Higher probability to sooner or later take the low. The only way you don't would be a WX and wave Y finishing above the high of W, which can happen. But it's less common. So once price moved here, or actually once price moved down and hit the 618, that was an entry, but I wasn't in front of the chart, as that confirmed a three-wave structure. So once price moved back up at the 618, I got my entry. But now I'm looking for continuation, and it's the same thing. We wigged the low, we started to move to the upside, and I told in setups, that's what I wrote as well. I said, yo, yeah, I'm not like I was copying. So I said I had the idea here. Oh yeah, stop loss break even, complex sideways structure. You know, I was looking for a multi 1-2. I want to see continuation. I don't, so I remain patient. So it's patience. By the way, that's a public. This is a public group. I share not the trades that I take per se, even though, you know, commonly I am involved in some way, or at least I observe the reaction. But this is where I share how to trade Elliott Waves, which many people struggle with. So this is the koenztrading channel where I share in hindsight what's up. A couple of the steps. So yeah, I need to repost that message. So this gets you in Koen setups. But yeah, that's where I share why a certain setup is interesting from an Elliott Wave point of view. So, you know, and then in koenztrading you see what happened after. And at the moment we just observe price. As you can see, price is also moving up, and CVD is moving horizontal here. It's of course quite interesting. Bullish CVD here played out. We move towards the upside. Green candles, CVD moving down. Another green candle, again CVD down here, green candle. So yeah, continue to observe. The SEC asks for amendments within a short time frame. They have to do to dot the I's and cross the T's. Okay, I see. So they're just going to be discussing for a while. Yeah, interesting. I've noticed weekends has clear CVDs and less structure. Maybe it's just me, or yeah. Typically, of course, a weekend is a ranging structure. And therefore, you're going to be thinking about wave Bs, wave Xs, wave 2s. Right? So WXY, wave 4s. So just like ranges in weekends, because that's what's most common. And yeah, you do have, of course, CVDs to play with as well. But yeah. Structure-wise, this structure here, that it wasn't interesting to me. I was not interested in participating in this area here. So will be quite interesting to see if we get continuation. We almost hit the 886, which lowers the probabilities for the final bullish or bearish scenario kinda here, which would be a multi 1-2, which we now hit. So the 886 is touched, which now also decreases probabilities for a 1-2, 1-2, and a 3 down, which increases probabilities even more to sooner or later take the highs before the lows. If you do take the high and then move down, probabilities remain higher to go up again. So either it's about continuation or it's retracing back and continuation. Bitcoin is pumping, yeah. 69.3k, 4k. It would be an interesting end to this range if this is indeed the low and you continue from here. because you can't really count it a nice triangle. So if this would be your low, how would you count it, no? Very much higher probabilities. This is a 3-waver, so this has to be either a wave X or a wave B in that case. So then you're thinking about WXY or ABC. Now as the volume here now, we definitely get some increased volume here, moving above the 886. Ah, your bull rings. Interesting. I'll check it out. Thanks, Liquid Mafia. So highest amount of volume is now in this candle, which also means that now we can get the 0.618 out, because any of the ranges before the highest volume candle here are preferably counted as wave 2s. 1, 2, 3, 4. So preferably at least here to the high. So the invalidation for impulsive continuation would be the 618. No. I still won't be surprised if we are looking at a flat structure here. That would be the absolute, that would be the biggest fake out in that case. Yeah, your extension target is still higher. Update in TradingView. Pumping, what's up, Trending Views? How are you doing? Yeah, pumping. I mean, the probabilities of this morning shared, and I mean also just the previous days have been higher to look for the highs. Retracement is very shallow, 382 retracement. I'm just curious to see if this, of course, in hindsight, we'll know how legit the pump is. But if this is continuation, we need to end the correction here, because this is very much a 3-wave structure, not a 5-wave structure. Highest amount of volume in the high as well, yeah. So I would like to label this as an X or B, which WX, and that's why I'm not yet. If we pass this resistance here, right, then I'm more confident about continuation. And the reason is that wave Y can be a flat A, B, C, W, X, and then still a flat in Y. Not ideal, because A, B, C, I mean, a flat in a flat is definitely not preferred. In that case, bullish continuation would be better, but let's see if price does hit the resistance. It's an interesting area to observe what price does. If it pumps through, or if we find resistance here, range again, bearish CVDs, New York opens tomorrow, and then take the lows and then move up later. Well, only one way to find out, no? The altcoin stream is every Sunday. Sunday is altcoin stream. Mhm. Up, that's the first high taken. Let me have a look at Discord. Bull rings update. This is Liquid Mafia. He has interstellar charts. Holy moly, that's a lot of text. Might have to do this off stream. What? So, oh yeah. First of all, what I recommend is if you're in Discord, Bitcoin TA, and then here Liquid Mafia, right? So yeah. So this is that's exactly what I think as well when I see Liquid Mafia's ring updates. Exactly the same. Bitcoin bull rings. Green rings tracks major bear market reversal or bullish continuation. Continuation. I mean, pretty much every time. Continuation here. This one is, since 2016, whenever Bitcoin crossed a green ring, 4 out of 6 times, we never saw those prices again. For those 2 other times, Bitcoin still marched to new all-time highs with 164% and 267% gains. On the 3rd of December 2023, we just crossed for the 7th time. Leave the probabilities to you. Yeah, that's this one here. And then we have a red ring. Red rings tracks a cycle. Wait, 62K. Oh, this was posted a while ago. Yeah, this was... Okay, this is an old picture. Red rings track cycle consolidation with resistance and support range before breakouts. Orange rings track resistance and support bands for major cycle pivots. Green rings tracks major blue time bands for major cycle pivots. It's interesting stuff. Nice, nice one, Liquid Mafia. Yeah, from a swing trader's perspective, very interesting indeed. Yeah, we took the high now. Of course, volume is increasing as well. If this is indeed the low and you continue up, it will be very interesting to look back at how one ends a corrective structure here effectively. So yeah, probabilities were higher to move up. But the subwaves of this corrective structure being complex for sure. A, B, even C, D, E triangle doesn't work because your E moves below C, which isn't allowed. So you would need a W, X, Y in here. A triangle in Y would be A, B, C, D, E, but it's just you took the low, so E can't take the low. So what are we looking for then? W, X, Y, I mean, this is very much a three-waver as explained. So in that case, you need an X or B there. Yeah. But hey, probabilities play it out, so we're not complaining. Now we just wait and see if there's any reaction at resistance. If you pass this resistance, then yeah, 71K is next. Daily naked point of control at 71K. But it is not a nice end. If this would be even a flat X and a zigzag down. So in that case, we need this as a 5 waver. Let me have a look here. 0.9. Did we? No, we didn't hit the 0.9, so we can't call a flat in W. So if this is your W, this is your X. Y can only be triangle, zigzag, flat. Flat would now be the only option. Triangle doesn't work because of this low. For a double zigzag, your wave X is very high, and if this is A, B, C, this is also very, very 3 wavy. 3, 3, 5, who knows? The charts are not always perfect, but as long as probabilities play out, we're not complaining. 0.618, which is a minimum target for a wave C if one would count this ABC to finish a wave Y here at the low. So that would be your 886 WXY, but then you have a double zigzag with the 07 hit. Not ideal. It's all probabilities. That would be the only way to really get it finished here, a WXY. With then a final ABC, even though I do agree with in chat, like it looks like a 3-wave structure, but you would need to count this as a wave 1, 2, 1, 2, couple of 1, 2s here, and then 3, 4, 5, 4, and then probably a 4 needs to end here. So again, WXY 5. So then you have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Charts are not as perfect as the books or pictures sometimes when you study will show. But then again, probabilities played out. Cheers, Sanvan. Cheers, yeah. Upcoming Sunday is another altcoin stream. Sober May tea break. I've never been drunk, actually. Also never been high. For that, man, I'm so like, I don't know, in the Netherlands we say beschaafd. Niet. Okay, I don't drink. That's a good habit. I mean, it's healthier, I suppose, yeah. I also rarely ever, mostly water. I like water. My water is finished now. 6980 still pumping. Yeah. Still, oops, I just closed my chart accidentally. There we go. Yeah, Mark, well, you know, my friends that I've had for what now, like 16 years, or people can try, but in the end, you know, I'm the only one that will drink or not drink. so yeah, can't force. It's always if people really try to force you to drink, it's always fucking annoying, you know. Just like, take care of yourself, mate. I'm happy, you know. Count this has been so unenjoyable. What's up, Pistachio? Yeah, the only probabilities were expanding diagonal is very rare, never preferred. Probabilities are higher for a move up. We got the move up, but ending the structure here is a weird way to end the range. So the probabilities played out. So happy days. counting wise, would have been actually nicer to still look a little bit lower. Yeah, you had an order block here. Don't mind that scam wake, by the way. Of course, we had an order block here, and the box here a little bit lower. 382 is touched. You know, shallow retracement. It's all about having a plan. I mean, do you know how they feed geese for goose liver? I don't have to know. If I want to know, I'll do my own research. Dior. What the fuck? But yeah, pistachio. Shallow retracement. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Now, I don't mind, right? Probabilities played out, so perfectly fine. But it's a complex. So I, of course, like to be, okay, so how do we end this structure? I mean, I can count. You could count an A, B, C in here. It's a bit of an awkward C hitting the 0.618, but it has a possibility. So that would then need to be your wave Y. This has to be your X. And then this has to be a W, but then you have a WXY with X hitting the 07, which isn't great. It's not an invalidation, just lowers the probabilities. And in the end, it's all probabilities. High as a giraffe, as WTH is Mark talking about. Drop coming soon. As long as price is moving up and volume is increasing, you gotta, I mean, no financial advice, you do you, but the best thing is to wait for a range to form from an Elliott Wave point of view. So once a new range is forming, that is when we can reanalyze the probabilities again. Up till that moment, yeah, doesn't really make sense to go into shorts, in my opinion. But hey, everyone has a different plan. Of course, I just communicate from an Elliott Wave point of view what's up. But no. So if you do, so now that we took the high, probabilities, even if you do move down once more, are higher to still take this high, at least hit the resistance at 71K, if not continue. I just answered the question of Emma Niven. So if you pass this resistance, going to be looking to 71K. If you do find resistance move down, probability is high to still return back up. So in other words, probabilities continue to be higher to move up here. Yeah, but wave E, oh, you're talking, yeah, but is this your E in that case? I wouldn't like that count triangle here in that case. I prefer to then count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, up in 3. So in that case, you have a 1, 2, 1, 2, potentially more 1, 2s here. And then you're going to be looking still for upside and then 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 4, 4. So currently we are moving into resistance on a high amount of volume. So it's interesting to observe the reaction, because in a bullish scenario, you're still going to be waiting for a couple of 4, 5s as a minimum. So 1, 2, 1, 2, let's say instead of 1 more 1, 2 or 2 more 1, 2s, it's 1, 1, 2. You're going to be looking for 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5. It's going to be like 3 more. And if you don't get it, three-way structure. We're at resistance now, though. Just finished catching up at 2.4 speed. What's up, mother? Ending this structure, is E allowed to slightly take? No. In a triangle, E moving below C, D, in any case form, it's an invalidation. So it's just an ugly end. Yeah. So it remains an invalidation. There is sometimes a discussion with, and also, by the way, in a barrier triangle, your E is, so you have A, B, C. Wait, I gotta do this now. A, B. Holy moly. A, B, C, D, E. Your wave E is never at the low. It's at the high. And it's not allowed to take the high of C. Sometimes there's a bit of a discussion if a wave B or D is allowed to take the previous pivot, but I stick to the Elliott Wave rules as they are, which means it's not allowed. And if this is your E, E is not allowed to go below C, which is a hard rule. So there's no discussion about that one. So I think it would need to be a zigzag ABC in the end here. Finished ABC, and then you move up, and then your wave Y finished on top of the 886 of your X. Yeah. Yeah. You always stream at the perfect time. I don't know. maybe with the stream we're market making, you know. You never know who's watching. Cheers, Emma. E where you showed 1. Oh, but that would be here then. E. Oh, I don't really know. Like, so in general, I don't count a triangle in here. Like A, B, C, D, D below is not allowed. A, B, C, C below is not allowed. A, B, C, D, E, E below is not allowed. There's like no, there's no triangle for me here. What's up, Christian Schöner? Oh, makes me think. Emails as well. Your emails. I will answer them. Holy shit. Yo, Mason. Wow. Actually, I gotta say, on a big screen, the background, or it's your camera, but it looks good, eh? That's a nice, like, it's very artistic. Holy shit, Mason on koenztrading on the big screen. What a guy. Oh, hey mom, I'm on TV. Okay, Gold Lounge. Let me check. Bettina, A, B, C, D. Wait, W, X, Y. A, B, C, D, E. A, B, C, D, and this has to be your E. And then this has to be wave, yeah, but in that case, this is your W, this is X, and this is your Y. That's incredibly unlikely, right? Because your wave Y is 2 candles, your wave W is like 1.5 days or longer. So then time is a problem. So there's I don't want to say it's invalidated because, you know, there's always probabilities to something, but it's very low probabilities. You would not count this a wave Y here because you want a 3-waver as well. And a wave Y most commonly ends between the 0.618 and the 1.618 fib time of W, which of course you're very far away from. And the 0.382 would, you know, usually be a minimum target for wave Y, which you also didn't hit. So yeah, that's definitely not great. It's only 2 candles. Now, even if we do end wave Y here, you can see that if this is WX and this is the end of your Y, it's also short. It's a very short Y, not even hitting the 382. So that at least gives consideration to a continuation of the range. If you can't pass this resistance, if you do, 71K is what I'm looking for. If you can't, I'm just looking down because of time as well. But 2 candles here, right, versus W. It's a nice idea. I do like ideas but it's so low probabilities, right? So low probabilities. I sent you, yeah. Okay, cool. I'll make sure to check the emails. I think if we pass 70k, we are ready to take 72. Yeah, 71k is the daily naked point of control resistance. And if you pass that, then 73k is pretty much next. June will be green. Yeah, there's potential. I'm massively up on my alt longs now. Let's go, Cbel Netherlands. Good job. Good job. That's what I like to hear. Nice. Charbel Mana. I asked ChatGPT about who you are. Got an amazing reply. Wait. You ChatGPT'd me? But the info of ChatGPT goes as far back as 2022, no? So the channel wasn't live yet in 2022. So I don't know if it even knows who I am or if you can find it. But if you did search, the only info you were able to get is probably that I was a professional gamer, right? An esports player for 11 years, playing Trackmania, host on Fox Sports, which is now ESPN, a medical student, and speaker. Those would be the only things that ChatGPT would know, because it wouldn't yet know about the YouTube channel, because it only came after. It only started in 2023. Let me see. I guess. Wait, ChatGPT. 1 second. Let's see. How far does ChatGPT go back in time? Let me open it. ChatGPT. Let's see. What is the most recent information you have? Give me a date. Oh. Okay. So the most recent information is up to May 2023. In that case, do you know who koenztrading is? Or Koen Schrobbers? Let's see. I'm not like in. So May 2023, the channel was 1,000. Well, koenztrading is not a company. Ah, it's using sources now. I mean, yeah. Funny that it also adds the sources, huh? London Speaker Bureau, Chartwell. So yeah, it is correct. Not that. So koenztrading is not a company. The company is Koens, which I already have since 2017 because I did other stuff. The gaming and esports industry is my background, which is also correct. I'm known as Koens, which is also correct. That's why the channel is called koenztrading. I just used my, Trackmania, which allowed it. Yes, that's also true. Significant roles, ESPN. I spoke about that. Board member of the Global Esports Federation, still am. Parents will play, yep. Helping parents and gaming children. Got the book, also true. Yes. Okay. I had no idea that that ChatGPT knew who I was. How about that? That's interesting. Learning something new every day. Do you know who Liquid Mafia is? Think about TradingView. Wait. I wanna see. Liquid Mafia. What's your? Let me see. Okay. Let's have a look. Okay. Yeah. Yeah. Oh, this is nice. I like it. That's Liquid Mafia. He in there. Oh, there you go. Oh, that's nice to see, eh? Okay, yeah, cool stuff. I do use ChatGPT. Okay, I had no idea. So ChatGPT knows who I am. It's interesting it posts the sources as well. Could we get all-time high this week? I suppose a bit of the problem with the question is before you would reach all-time high, there is 3 more resistance levels. And we take it level by level. So at the moment, right, we're moving up. We are at resistance. We just hit the weekly naked point of control as well. That's nice, a little bit of a reaction. So after this, it's 71K. After that, it's 73. And only then do you get all-time high, which is just above. So can you, I mean, you always can. You can never say never. But this week, yes, possibly. But it's level to level. Like, what, you know, you're at resistance here. So, yeah, probabilities were higher from an Elliott Wave point of view to take the highs, which has now happened, which therefore increases the probabilities to move up further. Even if you do move down here, probabilities are high to go back up because the probabilities are on the side to at least hit 71K now, either directly or indirectly. And then if you do and you reach this area, then yeah, it depends. You can have a WXY and then you move down again for a bigger flat in a wave A, B, C, which is then part of a bigger WXY. So now I deep dive. But then you have high time frame. You have your finished W here, which is a regular flat, ABC in X, and then a flat in Y. And then you're still not at all-time high. You know, you're even going down again. So it's level by level. And that's, of course, also the specialty of the channel is we wait for ranges. I analyze the range, attach probabilities, and be happy when probabilities play out like today. So yeah, now we're at resistance. So the 2 scenarios for the bulls is a WXY or a 1, 2, 3. Now this move to the upside does count better as a wave W, a 3-wave structure, compared to an impulse on the lower time frames. However, if you move up, we just observe how price then moves to the upside. Is it wave 3 or is it wave Y? The only way we'll know is if a range forms again. Besides, this wave X or 2 might not yet be finished. So unless you move above here, that's when probabilities change for X or 2 to be in. But now that you took the high here, the probabilities are higher that even if you do move down, you're still going to be looking for price to move up after, before taking this low. So just adds probabilities to bullish scenarios. Yeah. Oh wait, where's my 618? Yeah, highest amount of volume is in the recent push. So if you hit the 618, it would lower the probabilities for an impulse. So you at least want to see a couple of 4, 5s. So if you stop at this resistance, move down, hit the 618, probabilities increase to move down. What else than Bitcoin are you trading or looking at? I only trade Bitcoin. Yeah, that's and only because of the altcoin streams on Sundays. I also, of course, have an Elliott Wave analysis on a lot of altcoins, only high time frame. So, but I only trade Bitcoin. So I do have a trading. Let me remove ETH here because I don't actually. Oh, here. I don't trade these, so I only trade Bitcoin. At the beginning of the year, I was considering going into Ethereum and Solana as well, but it just adds more stuff. Like you're going to be keeping an eye on the chart more often, and you have to analyze, and it takes time. And you know, if Bitcoin gives you enough, why also do ETH and Solana? I mean, you know, I want to be a consistently profitable trader, enjoying my life outside the charts instead of just sitting behind the charts all day. So. 71,600. That's why the weekly. Okay, the R1. That is the pivots indicator. No, I think. What's up, John? How you doing? This is B of a flat target, though. Yes. Yeah, important area here. What's up, Samith? How you doing? Fresh funky acorns. Could it be in the 4 hour that we are making ABC correction to the upside, and now it would bid 1-2 down? No, a 1-2 down has low probabilities. If you do move down, probabilities are higher for a flat in that case. So probabilities here are higher. This is a 3-wave structure, right? Which increases probabilities that if you do make a higher, you move down. It's not a 1-2, but it's just a bigger 3-waver, and then you continue up after. So even if you take the high, you can still get a flat in a wave A, B, C, and then move up after. So what happened today here, and especially once you take this high, actually 70.6k, increases the probabilities for bullish scenarios. Yeah, on higher time frames. So even if you do get a bigger 3-wave corrective structure, it's going to be higher probabilities for a 3-wave and move up instead of a 1-2 and then a 3 down. Gary, have you looked at he's also certified. Any thoughts? I know X-Force Global, yeah. He's a great guy. So there's only 2 people that I think are worth it, and that is Green Star Trading on the higher time frames. He also has a fun personality, doesn't upload often, and X-Force. And you will see that X-Force and I are very often aligned in our analysis. But it's also we have the same level of like analyzing the charts, so it's going to be quite similar at a certain moment. So I don't actually watch. In general, I watch very few Elliott Wave analysts. I never watch videos about trading. Really, I tend to watch other stuff like Trackmania, Formula One, related things. Some Gran Turismo videos as well, Super GT, for example. I don't follow crypto Twitter, so I know some people, but I rarely ever follow what's happening somewhere else. I just know him. I know who it is. Yeah, I've been in his live stream as well once. Yeah, so yeah, he's a great guy. So I on Twitter see some of his posts sometimes, but crypto Twitter is not often a place I like to be. So no, the only 2 I can recommend from an Elliott Wave point of view is Green Star Trading and X-Force Global. I have not seen any other great Elliott Wave analyst on YouTube so far. So that sticks to rules and guidelines. Important note. Only messages using the new update per day. Oh, I see. Oh, I didn't know. Even my physics homework. Yeah, makes life easy, eh? Next bull market, we're already in a bull market, of course. Even though you are ranging for many weeks, you're still in a big bull market. That is correct, yeah, John. But we do move into the box, of course, on high volume. I'm trading on well, usually 5x, 10x leverage, but it is not to increase my risk. My risk is 1%. It's to give me flexibility with more than one position that I like to open, depending on what the price does, right? What the chart does. Or just de-risk. So put money in the trade, risk 1% of the portfolio and keep the rest outside of the trade. Or keep more in the bank account, right? If you want to trade with 100K, but you put 10K into the exchange for safety purposes, you can use 10x leverage, risk 1K, which is 1% of your trading budget, which is 100K, but 90K is in your bank, 10K is in the trading account. You still risk 1K, even though you use 10x leverage, you risk 1%. So I use 5x or 10x, but I only use that because of flexibility. I want to, put my money to places, not put everything into one trade. So I risk 1%. What's up, Sam? How you doing? Bones, good evening. Good to have you here. Bones, yo. Check the beginning of the live stream. I mean, you don't really have to. 1 second. Yeah, price is pumping. I recommend to check the beginning of the live stream because I've been testing putting a signature on another blue shirt that I have. This is lighter blue. The bottom, that's the one. So it's going to be like something like that, I suppose. Of course, your shirt is darker. This is the shirt you get. Right? So, and then below the logo. So I can draw it, but at the beginning of the live stream, I show it a bit more clear. So I do recommend to go to the beginning of the live stream, I suppose. So wait, why am I? There we go. So yeah, we pretty much passed the resistance now to the upside. Haikun, you formulated a great creative strategy and would recommend diamond to everyone. Thanks, Crazy Potato. I gotta say, like, this month has been quite a crazy month. So I trade Elliott Waves, and that's one. But I also have a different strategy which is based on data. And this month, even though it's a profitable month, it's been a shitload of break-even trades. It's ridiculous. Which volume profile is preferred, fixed or anchored? I like the fixed volume profile tool. So this one here, fixed range volume profile. But yeah, cheers, Crazy Potato. Appreciate it. Recommend diamond to everyone. He's talking about the membership. But yeah, hopefully your learnings are going well. And of course, if you have any questions, make sure to ask, engage in the group. Happy to help as well, of course. At this moment, you can't tell if this move up is a wave B from flat until price reach 618. The 1.618, yes. But in that case, of course, W, X, and then Y. I mean, if this would be your first potential flat, you already hit the 1.618. If you're going to look higher, you now hit the 1.618 as well. So flat probabilities have gone down, right? Increasing. So in other words, for a W, X, and then a flat in Y, the probabilities have now reduced because you hit the 1.618s. Unless, wait, could you get a bigger flat in here still? Yes. Wow. Unless this is your A. This is now your bearish scenario, which would be ridiculous. But anyway, that's the only option you have left. But that means you need to wait for a range. You from an Elliott Wave point of view, it makes absolutely zero sense to short into a pump when volume is increasing. Like, no financial advice. You do you. Doesn't make sense. So one needs to wait for a range. So if you would look for a wave A, B, and a wave C, first of all, the 1.618 would lower the probabilities for B. So if you hit it at 70.6K, low probabilities, high probabilities, this is continuing to 71. And if you do top out in B, then you first want to see a range forming, and that will give you the probabilities to move down. At the moment, that's not the case. We're just moving up. I'm practicing spotting bullish bear CVD and would like to ask if I'm correct when spotting bullish CVD on the 1 hour right before this pump. Yes, you are correct, Crazy Potato. You are correct. I know exactly what you're talking about, and you are correct. So, yes, very nice. Yeah, very nice. I like to see it. Good identification of bullish CVD divergences. And they have played out now. Trader, yeah, on Twitter, I mainly follow like friends from Trackmania, other professionals, Formula One, people I know in real life. I don't really follow traders. I do have X-Force in there, and I think that's pretty much it because I don't really like crypto trading stuff. And on YouTube, the only two is Greenstar Trading and X-Force, and that's it. So yeah, I can't recommend anyone else, which includes correct, Mark. So yes, this is correct. If you don't know Elliott Waves very well, then you won't notice. But the moment your knowledge goes up, you will very quickly realize this is true. The target for today, as high as we can until price starts ranging. So that is going to be pretty much it. So the next blue box here is around 71K. And as long as price is pumping, you got to wait for a range to reanalyze the probabilities. If you are corrected for a WXY to the upside, your target, well, you're already in the target area, but your most common target area would be 71.1K to 71.8K for a wave Y, even though the 0.618 is also still a target, 69.1. So pretty much 70K up to 71.8K, but just gotta wait for a range. As long as price is moving up or down, for example here, it doesn't make sense. Absolute, like if someone longed here, unless you have a very clear plan of catching knives, right? Then it's good. You go into a long here. Most of the people do not, and it's an absolute gamble, full gamble, to go long at the low of a wick. So from an Elliott Wave point of view, it makes a lot more sense to wait for a range, and this range then gives you the opportunity. My long was here. Right, so have we talked about the weekend being a wave 4 and the current pump of 5? No, because you would think about an X or 2 in that case, because in that, like for this to be a wave 4, you're counting 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, but 4 overlap with 1, which is an invalidation. So therefore, you're always going to be thinking about this being either X or 2, which is either finished, or if you do move down once more, flat, and you continue up after. In both ways, in both cases, you're looking for price to move up sooner or later. Correct. Maybe. Trend lines. First of all, welcome to the channel. Second, where you should start is if you open the description below the live stream and you scroll down, there's a section called Elliott Wave Education. And there's a link there called bit.ly/Elliott Wave detailed, EW detailed. Check that one first. It's a website which is really good. It's completely free. It's this one. Right. And yeah, it's a great page. Lots of information. The second link there is the Elliott Wave Principle of Frost and Prechter, which is a book. It's a nice to have. It's not a must have, but it's a nice to have. And then you have Gold, which is the membership, where you can ask me questions and more guidance. So yeah, but this is a great website. Can definitely recommend this. Like 90% of the info you want to know is pretty much in there, 95%. So it's a great place. I like the second. Yeah, the second bones is the way I'm gonna do it. The first one, so I was just testing on an old shirt of mine. The first one was a singular line. You know what I mean? So So the first one above was a single line. The one below is when you repeat it a couple of times. But it's not my finished signature. It's just a part of it because I wanted to compare. But I think green will work on the dark blue, but you might not see it very clearly, but you'll see it. You know what I mean? So because this shirt that I did it on now is lighter than the shirt you're going to receive. But what I'll do is I just repeat my signature a couple of times on the shirt. If you have no idea what we're talking about, I did a giveaway when I reached 10K subs. And I needed to wait for caps to arrive. So therefore, and they arrived end of last week. So now that I got the caps, Bones was the only one that wanted a signature on his shirt. So I'm going to send the shirt with the caps all at once. And I've been practicing with a textile marker on the t-shirt and everything went well. So yeah. And also a textile marker, when you put it in the wash, it shouldn't go out too easily. So the low time frame is pretty disgusting. It's just the range. Ending the range is an interesting one. Yeah. Ending a structure here must be, if it continues, must be a zigzag. What's new with this wave 5 up? At the moment, this move up for, like, it depends what time frame you're talking about, Tash, but probabilities are higher. This is either a wave Y or a wave 3 if it continues to the upside. Locally here. I've been away with friends and family, so I plan to not trade weekends. 1 second. I've been away with friends and family, so I plan to not trade weekends. We'll track stats for missed trades. Yeah, and that's good. I also think it's about having a healthy balance. So, you want to spend time with friends, you want to spend time with family. So it's also good to not trade and be able to leave the charts. How many people are addicted to the charts, wanting to trade every move? I also think it comes like, if you don't have a clear plan and you enter a trade, I think psychologically it's a lot more difficult to move away from the chart. Because if you don't really have a plan or a set strategy and you know where your invalidation is, like, you want to keep an eye on the chart and every tick, and it just has an effect on psychology. So if you have a plan, if you have a strategy, it makes trading so much easier, and also more freedom for yourself. For overlapping, a 1 is possible in a diagonal. Yes, that is true. However, you're going to be talking about an expanding diagonal here, which is very rare. Hit the lower trend line. And an expanding diagonal is never preferred unless all of the other stuff fails. I will continue studying Elliott Wave because it gives context to your strat build on data. Yes, correct. Yeah, so I gotta say, like, I mean, sometimes you just have those months where it's like the Elliott Wave trading has been great. Like it's been really, really nice. So Koen's Trades channel is public. Koen's Setups channel, that's where I share stuff up front and what I'm looking for and the explanation and stuff. So yeah. This is purely Elliott Waves, of course, in confluence with other tools that I use. Clearly, people voted for yellow, so break even is going to be yellow now. But yeah, Elliott Waves, very nice. The other strat based on data. What's the 1 second? Where is my Excel sheet? Here. So based on the data, this month has so many break evens. I mean, there is one win, no loss, and then 7 break evens, which is absolutely ridiculous. So, I mean, profit is profit. Like, yeah, very low hit rate, 100% win rate. Like, what the fuck? What's this month? It's the first time this happens. So, yeah, interesting. Oh, crazy. But Elliott Waves in general gives great context, and definitely, especially if you swing and are not always too specific with entries, it's an amazing tool. You know, Elliott Waves is great. What did we hit now? Oh, value area high. Let me remove this point of control. I'm also removing the. I keep the weekly. I'll keep the weekly naked point of control. Oh. Yeah, there is still flat potential. Still flat potential. Anything is fine as long as it is visible. Yeah, that's what I'm aiming for. That's the goal. So that is also why I will like slowly make the logo and go over it a couple of times. You wanted bones. You wanted below the logo, right? Of course, you have the shirt. Right, so you want it below the logo on the shirt or higher, more towards the neck? I think below would, I guess below would look nicer, I think, personally. Yeah, okay, yeah. Cool. I'll make that happen. Hope this is a expanding flat wave 1 or ending C of this structure. It's not so clear. That would be a bearish scenario, yeah. Oh, maybe it's in the spam. Mada, can you in Discord maybe also send me a DM and resend the email? I may have to check my spam in that case. Sometimes emails come up in spam. I'll have to check that one. But good that you let me know here on stream so I can act on it. Are we already billionaires? What's up, Dexter? On the 4 hour, if we topped at a C on the 21st of May. Yeah. We've had a 1-2 now if we finish here. Wait, 21st. Oh, wait, here. No, so low probabilities. This is a 1-2. The probabilities are much higher. This is a 3-wave structure, not a 5-wave structure, which increases probabilities for either this to be a wave W or a wave A. So any move to the downside is considered wave C or Y, increasing probabilities to just move up after. So in other words, the bullish scenarios on a higher time frame will have a higher probability. Even if you do move down, the probabilities are higher. You're just gonna continue the trend, and this is a bigger corrective structure. So 52K is at the moment here very unlikely. So before we're going to talk about 52K, a lot needs to happen, basically. This is where wave 2 to the upside needs to turn around. The hit. Yeah, of course the 886 is important as well. I agree. But in general, the first structure down is higher probability of being corrective, double zigzag, WXY. If your messages aren't appearing, then there's probably a word in there that either YouTube bans or it's a word that I ban because it's a word that scammers like to use. So usually words that are related to like money, not like the word money itself, but I'm not sure if the word profit works, for example. It's just, I try to ban the words that scammers use the most, but are very rarely used by community members. So of course, most people can chat without any problems. I just make sure I ban the words that are very, sometimes scammers use words or bots or whatever that are so rarely used in the English language. I just ban those words. So just make sure to check your message and see if there's potentially any words in there that you might put dots in between, or if this is a wave 5, it's going to be extended. Potentially, it's not a given. Your wave 3 is similar to your wave 1, so there is the potential for 5 to be extended. It's not common, but it can happen. And there's also still the possibility of a double 1-2 on the 4-hour. With a wave 3 to come. In both cases, you're looking at that, for an extension. Hope that trade is going well. I'm also trading Bitcoin futures, so I'm unable to trade or make adjustments to trades I'm in because market is closed. I see. Okay. What is your thumb rule for leverage and sizing? What ratio do you spot versus leverage? So trading, like my by far, trading is futures. My leverage is 1%, which you're like, wait, 1%. My leverage on BingX is either 5 or 10x. But I only use this to risk 1%. So let's have an example. If you go long, and you have your portfolio, let me keep this on, by the way. Now, the stop loss is 1% or whatever. So the stop loss is 1%. If I have my portfolio and I want to risk 1% of my portfolio, I can enter. If I am on 1x leverage, I enter with my whole portfolio. So if you have 100K in your account, you would enter with 100K on 1x to risk 1%. However, it's going to limit you because if you enter with your full portfolio in this single trade, if you want to enter another trade, either in the same pair or another pair, you can't, because your whole portfolio is dedicated to that single trade. Now, if you use now for the sake of simplicity, if you use 10x leverage, right, I can go in the scenario I used 100K, so I can enter the trade with only 10K. I am still risking, or my size, so how can I explain this? My portfolio size is 100K, but I'm only putting 10K into this trade at 10x leverage, meaning the size of the trade is 100K. And I'm risking 1% of 100K, which is 1K. But that means I still have 90K left for other stuff. I can dedicate it there, I can put it there, I can put it there, doesn't matter, right? I can go into other trades at the same time. So, flexibility. I'm risking the exact same amount. I'm still risking 1%. I just structure it different. I use leverage not to increase my risk to 10% risk per trade, 5% risk per trade, 100% risk, that would be, your whole portfolio. I use leverage to keep money on the side for other stuff. A second reason to use leverage can be to keep money in the bank and a portion of your trading money on the exchange, because, exchanges might be risky in your opinion. So if you have 100K to trade with, you might tell yourself, okay, you know what I'm going to do? I keep 90K in the bank, right? So this is going to stay in the bank. And you're going to put 10K into your Bing X affiliate account of koenztrading. That's a joke, of course. I can't. Anyway, I did get a message recently like, you got to say more often that you're actually partnered. But anyway, link is in the description. So if you want to support the channel, you make it happen. So you put 10K into your trading account, right? And you're going to use 10x leverage. So what's then going to happen is 90K is in the bank, 10K is in the exchange. So you have de-risked yourself, right? If you trust the banks more than the exchange, that is in this scenario, that's the case. But your size on the exchange, because you use 10x leverage, is 100K, because 10 times 10 equals 100. If your risk is 1% in your trading setup, right, then 1% of 100K is 1K, meaning you're risking 1% of your whole trading budget, even though 90K is in the bank and 10K is in the exchange. You still only risk 1%, right? So that is how you can use leverage. In my opinion, this is the two smartest ways to use leverage. Unfortunately, what many people do is they use leverage because they have a small trading account. They have $100, right? They have $100 in their account or whatever. A low amount of money. I mean, it might be high for you. It depends on personal scenarios and stuff. But they have $100 in their account, and they're like, yo, shit, if I want to make any sort of money, I need to go balls deep. I need to go 100x leverage on my $100. I need to risk 50%. So in other words, you're going to be risking $50. And then if you lose half your account. But it's only because you wanna try and make some money. The problem is this teaches wrong habits if you do that. If you have $100 in your account and you use 50x, 100x, balls deep, risk 50, if you don't even have a plan and your liquidation is your stop loss, and then you get liquidated, your $100 is gone, you put a new $100 in and you go again, making the exact same mistake, becoming a losing trader and one of the 90%, and eventually you quit because you don't make it. Yeah, that's stupid. So what I recommend is, instead of doing that, focus on risking 1%, 2%, a maximum of 5% per trade. I personally do 1%. Focus on your trading plan and strategy. Risk 1%, And if you do not have a high amount of money, that's no problem. First, try to be profitable over a couple of months with the low budget. If you can make that happen, go try a funded account, for example. Like, I don't know how cheap they are nowadays, maybe $50 somewhere for whatever, a 1K or a 10K or a 5K, I don't know how many K. Just get a funded. And if you can prove to yourself you're consistently profitable with a small amount of money, you do exactly the same in the challenge 1, challenge 2, verification phase is finished, you get the account, and now you have 5K. And then if you make 1% profit, it's $50. Now, if you make yourself a few percent in a month, you got a few $100, then get a 10K account, and then go for a 50K account. And then it's just repeating the story. If you have a plan and a strategy, your size doesn't matter anymore. But stop risking 50% of your account and $100 and that sort of stuff, right? Start slow, start easy, focus on risk management, focus on a plan and a strategy, which is what we do in Diamond, and start there. And the moment you evolve, that is the moment you can then potentially get a funded account at a trusted party, right? Not one of those new boys on the block. Start with the trusted stuff, you know, and that way increase your size instead of just throwing it away with 50x, 100x trading, which is like, it's just gambling. You can as well go to the casino, you know. So if you have $1,000 in your account and per trade you risk 900, I mean, what are you doing? Yeah. 1 second here. So yeah, that's my advice. What percentage of your portfolio is for? Yeah. So with all the dots. So yeah, I always risk 1%. I am mainly a futures trader, and I very limited spot. Usually I say I don't really have spot because in comparison it's just not really, it's a bit. But I'm mainly a trader. You know, in, out of the market. I like to be out of the market. Market can do its thing. I noticed in the past when I started that I don't really like my portfolio size to change based on what the chart does. I like to have control in a way, and I have control if I decide when to go in and out based on a plan. So when I'm not in a trade, I'm in dollar. It's just what I prefer. I don't really enjoy seeing numbers go up and down. It's a psychology thing, which I recognized early in my career. So I have a bit in spot, but I never even look at it because I don't like to look at it. What's up, is goed man? Hoe gaat het, kerel? APED in crypto, if that's 1-to-1 on the 4 hour, we're actually going to the moon, but even with an extended wave 5, we can easily get over 100K. Yeah, you'll probably get close or go over. Yeah. As an example, is 1% stop loss not too tight? Doesn't give no, but this is an example. And also it depends on your plan. With regards to my second strategy based on data, sometimes my stop loss is at 0.5%. But it's because of the plan. It's simply the strategy tells me that, you know, everything is good. I got to enter, so I enter. And the stop loss might be 0.5%, which now means if I want to risk 1% of my portfolio, I already need to use 2x leverage, else I can't get to 1%. Sometimes my stop loss is going to be 3% or 4% or even 5%, you know. And then if your stop loss is 4%, in the example where I said, okay, if your bank account is 100K in the example, well, you 4% stop loss means you enter with 25K and you risk 1%. So, yeah. Yeah. That was a funny one. I had to. I thought of it. Offline, how are you doing? How would you count the latest move? For me, it looks really weird. Yeah, so the range here, right, with regards to where we are now, your only bearish scenario that was left was a flat. But now that we hit the 1.618, that's low probabilities, right? Higher probabilities, it's an impulse. So from that regard, you got to finish the range here, which I agree is weird. Now, the probabilities throughout the range were higher to move up. And I mean, we took the high, so the probabilities played out. We can't complain. But ending the range, yeah, the end of the range is really stupid. The only way I can somewhat make it end here is, of course, a WXY. So we need a W, this X, and then a Y. And in this case, this is a three-wave structure. So we're labeling this as an X. W, A, B, C, three-wave structure. Your wave Y, flat, triangle, or zigzag. Now, because you took the low here, you can't have a triangle. You took the low before you moved up, so you can't have a triangle, which means that a flat or a zigzag is left. Now, for a flat, you need a A, B, C, but clearly, I mean, we didn't get a flat here, which means a zigzag is left. And then you need a double zigzag, WXY, but your wave X hit the 0.7. It significantly reduces probabilities for a double zigzag, but it's not an invalidation because the invalidation is the high. So that could be one of the scenarios where you have a double zigzag A, B, C, where this last structure on the lower time frames could be counted as a C, even though wave C only hit the 0.618, taken from the start to the end of A to the end of B, which is a rare target, but a target nonetheless. So yeah, it's a very shallow retracement. Of course, we had lots of bullish CVDs as well. These have now played out. And yeah, that's that pretty much. So the probabilities now are higher for this move up to be an impulsive structure. And in that case, we're either looking for a wave 3 or a wave A. 1, 2, 3, most bullish. W, X, Y with inside Y, a three-wave ABC. Meaning, once this impulsive structure is finished, the probabilities are higher, you correct and continue at least one more time at the moment. So yeah. Yeah, I'm not really yeah, I know. No, I never do. Also in my content, you know, I never talk about that stuff. I only let people know in Discord, yo, we got a new campaign going. But it was a funny moment to actually mention it. Yeah, so we have a partner that is BingX. I'm already with BingX before YouTube. Been trading there for ages. Really like it. And yeah, if you want to support the channel, link is in the description. And if you want to get access to the setups channel in Discord, where I share what I'm looking for up front and how to trade Elliott Waves with certain setups and stuff, then yeah, the link is it's the first link in the description. You go to the trades channel, and then the moment someone registers with an affiliate link and puts $100 in, you go to the setups channel. So you get that in return, and then you have all the bonuses and trial funds and whatever. That's always coming. But yeah, I never really talk about it because I'm not that much of a sales guy. I just like to do my waves. You know, I like to focus on the content, like to make my videos. I like to chat with you guys and just focus on the job, if you know what I mean. Which is, for me, Elliott Waves. What to do now. Risk manage. Cheers, Tashfik. Any tips on avoiding getting wicked out? So, of course, the easy thing to say would be increase your stop loss. However, it's a plan problem. It's a strategy problem. For the UK, by the way, later in the past, send me an email because I am currently, so this is background stuff, but I'm currently working on having BTCC and Blowfin for UK, Netherlands, US, Bybit spot trading. BingX is the main trading platform I use. And what I've been doing, this is all prep. You can't see this yet in Discord. So I've been completely prepping everything where you can see BingX, main trading platform, Bybit, spot trading, BTCC is for US, UK, NL, and so is Blowfin. I also add CoinGecko link CoinMarketCap link so you can find info about it. I'm writing the contact that's in Discord, so if you have questions, you can reach out to the main contact as well. I write if it's KYC, the info with regards to KYC on the platform itself, so you can read if it is KYC or not KYC, or so non-KYC are Bluefin BTCC. BingX will move towards KYC. Bybit is KYC. So I've pretty much one platform. I don't really like BTCC and Bluefin are a little bit like similar in a way, because it's both US, UK, and L and non-KYC options. But yeah, Bybit, Spot, BingX, Main, and I am currently talking also with with a decentralized exchange, which I don't have a partner. I'm not partnered with any decentralized exchange, but I do know some people like to trade on those type of exchanges. So yeah, I might just add that as an option. And I have found a very nice one, like very trustworthy one as well. So that's good. And then I can give people some bonuses and stuff there as well. No, you don't see this yet. This is this is all background stuff that I've been working on the past, while, because it takes not only this, but of course I have meetings with the guys and then put this in place. I have the separate channels which are still empty except BingX. BingX has a new campaign, but I already have it in my Telegram because I'm contacting them by Telegram. I still have to update the newest campaign in here. But Bybit is empty, BTCC is empty, Bluefin empty. But exchange info is going to be the overview. And then for the bonuses and the recent campaigns per platform, you go to the individual channels. So exchange info gives you so I'm working on this. This is all in the background. So no one knows except you guys here because you're here live. So this is just work that I've been doing in the background. The issue with fund account, from what I've seen, is they have high BTC fees and or don't allow holding trades overnight. You can, but you need a funded account with a swing option. Now, what I recommend, so I don't really know all the funded accounts there. I only pretty much know FTMO. It's the biggest, it's the most known, and I believe they have swing options where you can hold during news, hold over the weekend, hold overnight. I have no idea about the fees. Maybe there's an option there when you select the account, if you can have with or without fees and whatnot, because so yeah, I recommend checking them out, I suppose, to escape uni. Yeah, focus on the studies until maybe one day the trading goes that well. We have no more choice. Bitcoin to 87. What's up, cucumber man? Nice emote. Start of the pump is also really stupid. Yes, it's well, I mean the start here can be counted as a few 1-2, so that's not a problem for me here. 1-2 and then at least 3 1-2s here. That's fine, and then you get the 3 up, and then you want to see a couple of 4-5s still before a retracement. It's just ending the structure here. That's the interesting one, counting the range. Wave 3 target 85-90k. Good question. I haven't checked because we have both the bullish and bearish scenario. But now, not for this local one, right? So locally, your minimum target would be 73.5 for wave 3. Mind you, we still got the WXY as well. And then of course it can extend to higher prices, so you could move towards the 80s. And on a higher time frame, you're talking about a double 1-2 in that case, 1-2, 1-2, and then a wave 3. Now in that case, you of course go to much higher prices. So then you'll easily get there. But that is hypothetical until we go above all-time high. What's up later in the past? BingX, answered the question. So also so I'm working on that. It will go live today, tomorrow. I'm gonna open that channel. I'm doing some final things. What's up, Dawa? RNDR. Yeah, we analyzed RNDR yesterday in the altcoin stream. Not sure I recall 100% correctly, but I think you said a few days ago you prefer at least one more high within whatever this structure is. Does this move change the view? Yeah, for an impulse was. So for an impulse on the lower time frames, it would have counted better if you have a 1, 2, right? Then 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5. But this wave 4 retraced too deep, hitting the high of 1, right? And therefore invalidates that scenario. So in other words, if you have a finished impulse, it has to end here. So this is your end of wave 1. But that then leaves us with two options, 1, 2, 3, or because of the potential for an A, B, C here with inside C, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, we can also count this as a W, X, Y. That's your bearish option, which is a double zigzag to the upside. And a double zigzag can then become part of a flat structure. It all depends on the move to the upside. So yeah, this is very much a three-wavy structure as well. So we can't really count this a 1, 2, 3. And the three-wave nature of this structure, you can't count this W, X, Y inside a bigger wave Y because that's not allowed. So therefore, the probabilities are higher. This is a new move in either wave A or the beginning of your 3. Yeah. Now, the US is closed. That's interesting though. US market. Normal risk rewards. What's your favorite setup for? My RR depends on the strategy, because with Elliott Waves, I don't have set targets. I trade probabilities. So sometimes my target is 1 to 20 RR, and sometimes it's 1 to 1 RR. It depends if things change. With my data strategy, data-driven strategy, it's 1 to 3. Stop loss percentage is also not, it's never the same. Take profit percentage is never the same because it depends on the setup. Sometimes the stop loss is 0.5, sometimes it's 2%. It depends on the setup. Favorite setup for a long? Yeah, with my data-driven strategy, it's just when all the rules are ticked, I just enter. With Elliott Waves, it's when probabilities are in my favor and I see a good setup. Yeah, that's it pretty much. Harry Wong. From the previous autumn high, I think that the corrective dip to the downside is relatively shallow. Do you see any chance it will dip below 6K reading again, or should we mostly expect up? Yeah, but shallow is exactly what you like to see in a wave 4 on a weekly time frame. And it has retraced far enough for a wave 4, so it doesn't have to go back there. It can, it doesn't have to. Currently, the probabilities are higher. It depends on this move here very much, but probabilities are higher to still see higher prices. But we can't just say if this is a wave 3. So below 60K has low probabilities. From an Elliott Wave point of view, low probabilities. So that's a question I can answer. And that is because this has a higher probability of being a 3-wave corrective structure. So even if this turns out to be a WXY for a potential flat, hit resistance and move down, like 60K would be a very extended wave C in a flat. So even in the bearish scenario, 64. This one will go quite deep. 61. So going below 60 at the moment does not have high probabilities, even in a more bearish scenario here. Discord link is still it's not possible. The Discord link should work. People continue to join. So 24 minutes ago I was live, 26 minutes ago. So it, the link should work. But I mean, just in case it doesn't, for whatever reason, here's another one. Yeah, so that's true. I still have to make it open. Do you have experience with no? I don't have experience with the bots, so I'm not in a position to recommend anything. The only thing that I can recommend is to build a plan or a strategy yourself, as much as you can, to get the best experience and know-how of trading and in the market. I don't have experience with bots or AI. What are the low time frame probabilities and invalidations? When price is pumping, just wait for a range to form. And yeah. There is the potential here, like 1 2 1 2 1 2 3 4 5 4 5 4 5 71k, reject, retrace. There is potential there for hitting resistance, observe the reaction, see if we get any proof of resistance here. Because the probabilities, as long as price is not giving us a bigger range, this is 5-minute time frame, I at least want a couple of hours of sideways price action. As long as we don't get that, probabilities are higher to move up. Only with a new range could I reanalyze the probabilities for potential downside. The next area of resistance here is 71k. If we do get proof of resistance here, after a potential finished impulse, we could get a retracement down to retest support resistance flip here, or take the point of control of this range tomorrow when New York is awake, and then move up for either a wave C or 3. So low time frame probabilities are simply higher till a range forms. I also can't put the 618 on the chart now, because you already have a few 4s, potentially another 4 or 5 here. So the 618 could as well just be a normal retracement, after which you expect continuation for now. So it's now just waiting for a range. Yeah, and where we are at the moment, daily naked point of control 71k. Nothing there. Nothing. Yeah, so yeah, that's it pretty much. On 1 minute, just trying to learn. Counting this as an impulse seems quite difficult. Yes. 1 minute is you can, John is the expert from Australia, but I never like the 1 minute. I go as low as 15, and that's it. I don't go lower than the 15-minute. Below that, it changes a lot. Sometimes you'll see me go to the 5-minute, but I generally in my videos I stick to the 15, and that's that, or higher. So 15 is the lowest I tend to go. So the 1 minute, if you're learning Elliott Waves, I would usually recommend to start on a 4-hour or 1-hour time frame, and go to different charts, try different counts, go to a daily, go to a 15-minute eventually. But the 4-hour to the 1-hour gives great context, and it's a nice time frame to count. YRX trading, you got yourself a nice one. Congrats, that's what I like to see. Boom, boom. What's up, mindless musician? Let's go over the bullish and bearish scenario, starting with the bullish one. That's exactly what I covered in the analysis here. What do you think about project that hasn't futures treasure? Is it a good thing or not? Projects like, so I'm not very familiar with alts or projects. because I'm mainly focused on Bitcoin. I do alt analysis, by the way, everyone, but that's Sundays. So I analyze on Sundays altcoin stream. Yesterday we did, I mean, we always do like quite a lot in one stream. What did we do yesterday? Where is it? Yesterday we did SEI, Psi, Ondo, RNDR, dot, Peth, PYTH, whatever, Bonk, KDA, and Matic. So those are the ones we did. But and before that we've done 15, and before I had one live stream where I did 19 in one go. So there's many, but I don't know much about projects, if they futures, you know. So this is a fundamental question, and not a technical question. So I won't really be able to answer your question as much as I'd love to. I'm not in a position to answer it because I don't know. I don't trade these. I don't invest in these. Having no futures would mean probably lower liquidity, easier to move to market, more risk, I guess. Yeah. How often do you come across the perfect setup using a personal method? Is it a trade that lasts a few days? It is a day trading strategy, yes. And based on statistics, I would need to get my data to get the exact statistics. But wait, what's the question again? So how often? Well, it's just whenever the plan works. So in November, there were... okay, wait. Because I actually need to count the break-evens as well. So in November, there were 10. In December, 9. In Jan, 10. In Feb, 16. In March, I was gone on holiday. April, 11. And in... no, wait. November, 10. December, 9. Jan, 10. Feb, 16. Yes. April, 13. May, 7. And then, you know, then it depends on the market if it gives me a win, a loss, or a break even. And that is the data-driven strategy. So with Elliott Waves, it's whenever the probabilities are in my favor. Is it a trade that lasts a few days? What? So I would need to go to my exact one. Let's have 1 second. Let's see if I can find the exact data. So based on the data, most of I think like 50% of the trades take longer than a day to play out. But where is my statistics document? Yeah, I would need to look. In Excel, I only see the like a few recent maps or files that I opened, but not like the whole list of like the last months and stuff. So I think it's out of my head. It's about 50% of the trades that take longer than a day to hit TP and play out. Most of I think like 80% of the trades are over 10 hours. So yeah, it can last longer than a day. Yeah, in hindsight, everything is easy, right, John? I entered along at 56.7, and eventually I closed it to profit. Difference between day trading and swing trading, I suppose. All the extra work, and sometimes it just ruins a good trade. Yeah, so I can't. Yeah, I answered this already. Mind if I share a different point of view? If we disregard Elliott Wave for a moment, we are in MMBM. I don't know what an MMBM is. But see, all-time high would be an impulse to the upside. So that would be the confluence. Yeah, make our way down after. That would be a flat. Or wave 5 is finished and you go in a bigger sideways range again. So yeah, I mean, there is confluence between the two. After all-time high of 73.7k, do you think it's forming a WXY on the daily chart and in Y wave and ABC? That is an opportunity. Well, that was an opportunity till this move to the upside now. Currently in B wave, and then it would lead to 55. It's always interesting when price moves up. Everyone is thinking again about 50k. You wonder why, but the probabilities are higher. This move down at the moment is a 3-wave structure and not an impulsive structure, which increases the probabilities to sooner or later take the high before maybe one day later go below 60k. So yeah, Riaz, WXY is a possibility, but then in wave Y at the moment I'd be looking for a flat, which is a wave A, B, take out the high, fake out, C down, instead of a B, C, because probabilities are higher for a 3-wave corrective structure here. Yeah, so then preferably would be a flat. I'm surprised that people still think below 16k is still on the table. There's enough people that hope for below 60k. The question is, do we go there? Well, at the moment, probabilities are not in favor, but maybe at a later stage. But you know, that's, you know, I upload 3 pieces of content today. I mean, this live stream is long, so probably no night update, I guess, maybe. But yeah, maybe because also Arturo, maybe I have to do a short video later tonight so that I summarize what's happened now. Diamond, Garish Snow, that's Diamond, where people can learn about it. And I have 1-pagers with all the rules and the checkboxes, and yeah, it's all there. It's a very easy strategy. You just need to know the rules. And I have a whole PDF document explaining everything with pictures, and yeah, it's very, very big. But yeah, look, when you're at 56k, everyone is talking about, is the bull market over? And now you're back at like 70k and everyone's like, oh, are we still going down? It's just the typical psychology in the market. Now, in my case, as a day trader, I really don't care if price is at 70k or 60k. I just trade probabilities and then manage it as good as I can to profit from the market. So yeah. We might. No, yeah. But probabilities are not yet on that side. So the only thing locally is, you know, you don't really like to lose you can range here. You don't want to fall back inside this range. Not for now, at least. Sure, it would be absolutely crazy if you get a flat here. The 1.618 is a rare target for a wave B, which is where we are right now. Just imagine. Yeah. Yes. No signs of weakness yet. Just waiting for a bigger range to form. Take it from there. John got me hooked on 1-min counting. I know. John is addictive. Secretly, that's the 3-minute. That is true. That is true. I don't count the 3-minute though, but I can use CVD on the 3-minute. Low time frames on CVD are most important. Yeah. Possibility is another story. Seasonality of the market is more important. Don't be a bear during a bull run. Don't be a bear during a bearish market. A bull during a bearish market. Yes. Yeah, that's the typical, the trend is your friend till the end type of thing, you know. Render, not for trading, but decentralized computing. GPU with a great use case for gaming. I see. Interesting. What is ATM? All-time medium? I don't know ATM. I know I can get money. Yeah, probably R2, or I'm also going to make a video. So I'll do a quick summary, but then also make a video for tonight, I suppose. No all-time high with a flat. Well, we can check the target. There's potential. That of course would be nuts, right? Your bearish scenario would be to take all-time high in a flat. Yeah, that's a possibility. Your common flat target, if you're looking for A, B, take all-time high, wicket, C, down, oh, we're finished, and then poop. Yeah. Possibility. It's a nice one. Yeah, so that is in diamond. Are the reasons for the sell-off or rise actually an opponent in Elliott Wave? Do you just take what comes and then try to count it, or do you treat the sell-off or rise differently because of news? So news is not impacting my counting. I just count whatever comes, and most of the time my count is already. So when the news comes, the probabilities just play out of the count we already had in most of the cases. So it's following the count we were looking for. So with a sell-off or a rise, for me, it's just a matter of buying and selling. It's just a wave, yeah. So it's just, I just count it as a wave C or a wave 3 or a wave, whatever comes. Most important is that you want to, so your entries, that's also always why I say wait for a range to form, because the entries happen during the ranges. That is where the probabilities can become in your favor. So when price is dumping here, I'm not interested. My entry was here. I'm not interested in sniping the low, but once we got a range, this is the 2-hour chart, by the way. Once we got a range, my long entry was here. That's when probability switched for me, right? So I wait for a range. I wait for ranges to form, and here as well. Now price is pumping. I need to wait for a range, and that's where you can reanalyze the range and be like, okay, probabilities are higher for that or that to happen, and then you got to try and find an entry. So I am short here, but did I know that price would go all the way down and find support here? No. But what I do is, in this case, we are either looking for a wave 3 or a wave C to the downside. And depending on how far price goes till we get a range, I know more. So then once the range starts, I reanalyze probabilities. And if the probabilities are higher to move up, I close the short, I enter the long. So my short closed here, my long entry there as well. When price switched here. So yeah, it's the ranges. So as long as price is pumping, unless you have a clear plan, you can trade breakouts if you kind of know Elliott waves. You know the probabilities for price to continue or retrace. So you can trade breakouts if you know what you're doing, at least. Pleasure, Gershno. Riaz, can you please share the invalidation point for this pump? That would be taking the low again at 68.2k. If you're looking at this to be a wave A, B, C, or continuation in 1, 2, and 3 to the upside, it would be taking the low. Because at the moment, there's been too many low time frame ranges here to use the 618 invalidation now. Because of course you have a couple of ranges moving up, you get the pump, and then a couple of ranges after. So at the moment, you can't really use the 618 as a clear invalidation. You would need to wait for a range to form and then see weakness locally. What does Mrs. Kuhn says? Up or down? She's been right a lot of times. She's just back from a run. 1 second. Ashley. Up or down? She says down. The oracle has spoken. Cithrix just joined the stream. What's up? How you doing, Cithrix? SE. No, not in an impulse. It's a hard rule, 1 and 4. If the impulse weighs 1, 2, or a diagonal triangle. If you have overlap, yeah, you have to think about a double 1, 2 or a diagonal. That's correct. Yes. So in an impulse, 1 and 4 cannot overlap, but in a diagonal or a double or triple 1, 2, it can. Yes. So the moment you see overlap, you want to think about double 1, 2 or a diagonal. 75, 8, 70, yeah, like 80K. I have some resistance here as well, above all-time high. Those are just fibs. You can't really, there's no structure yet, but. I'm always more hesitant and fearful to take shorts. Anybody relate? That happens, if you're more comfortable with longs, there's absolutely no problem in being more comfy with being long. It just depends on your plan. So the word hesitant is psychology. So if you have a clear plan that shows you a signal for long or short, you should follow that plan. But you can develop a plan where you look for longs only, right? So the word hesitant should actually be replaced by and fearful. That those are psychology improvements to make, because of course you can earn money when you go short. But that would be, if you can improve your psychology for shorts, you can earn more money. You don't have to if your plan is to mainly long, which is absolutely fine. The bigger trend on the higher time frame is up. So hey, trade the friend, or trade the friend. There you go. Trend. CVD divergence on the 3 min. I always need bigger ranges. It's like we might retest this, but at the moment, price moving down, CVD moving down. I prefer to look at CVD on the right side of the recent high. So at CVD divergences here, not related with anything here. So I prefer to look at this here. And so far, price just moves down as CVD moves down. So the oracle has spoken. Yeah, I mean, so far she is 3 out of 3. It's quite impressive. I don't know. Maybe she has a feeling for the market somehow. On a jog, holy crap! It's hot. Good weather. It's cloudy here. I still have to do sports. I'm actually already in my sports clothing, but I have to train my knees specifically for running. So I do long distance running, but I start to feel my right knee. So leg days, that's going to be an important focus. What's up, Detlef? Thanks. Welcome. Thanks from the Netherlands, your neighbor. I mean, for now, still the Netherlands, because my wife and I are moving to the south of France. By the end of July, we're out of this house. And by the end of July / start August, we'll be in the south of France. There's going to be a lot of administration and stuff, but yeah, it's quite exciting still. But always a pleasure. That's also psychology, right? How are you coping with the market moving up and the market moving down? And are you excited when the market goes up? Are you fearful when the market goes down, or is it just another move? It's all psychology. So, I'm trained after all the years. My psychology is incredibly neutral. I don't care if it goes up or down. I trade it both ways. I just trade the probabilities. That's that. So yeah, we get a pump to the upside. Wait for a range to form. Probabilities. We're currently retesting the support here. So I just focus on the technicals. Focus on what the chart tells me, not what my head is telling me or feelings or whatnot. It is interesting that the highest amount of volume in this move up is here. So for a wave, in an impulse, you preferably definitely still make another high. 1, 2, 1, 2, at least one more. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 5, 4, 5, or more, maybe 2 more 4, 5s are preferred. So it does lower probabilities if you hit the 618 at, or the 618 at 49.4. Bitcoin is doomed by the Oracle. Focused on long entries, and that's perfectly fine. If longing is your plan, and then, and of course it also, you can build a plan based on your lifestyle and on what you prefer. And if you prefer to be long with the trend, then you build a trend trading plan, which can be very very profitable, of course. Yes, I agree with maybe a band-aid. 3 out of 3 is impressive. Yeah, so far she's been doing great. Trading philosophy and psychology. Trading psychology, like, so if there's one tip that I would give to newer traders, is to, from the beginning, also work on your trading psychology, not only your technical know-how or fundamental, but technical. So focus on both. And for your psychology, I recommend the book, The Mental Game of Trading by Jared Tendler. Link is in the description. Great book. Gives you a system to work on your trading psychology, which I recommend you execute, because, one day you're going to have problems with it. So better be prepared and work on it and understand the system. And it also just covers every psychological like problem you can have. It's such a good book. It's so much better than Trading in the Zone. It's so much more modern as well, so much more complete. Like with the system and everything, it's great. I really like it. I mean, I also got Trading in the Zone in the description, but if you want to pick one, I would pick The Mental Game of Trading every day. I feel like longing is psychological easier. Price can easily go up 50%, but going down 50% seems to pretty much always be a long, slow grind. Yeah, it's in the end, it's all mindset. If you have a plan and all the boxes are ticked, all the entry requirements are met, and it's a short setup, if the plan and the data says you got to go short, you got to go short. But this is the difference between data trading and psychology trading, in a way, where, if you build a plan based on data, and the data is tracked over a long period of time for longs and shorts, but then when you trade, you only trade longs, the whole data is useless. The whole data pool is completely useless, because you would need to, in the data pool, only focus on longs and leave out the shorts. Now, if you build a plan only focused on longs, the data would be trustworthy, and then you only need to trade longs and you don't enter the shorts. So it's also about data, but I recommend trading based on data or probabilities with clear plans, which is usually based on data instead of feeling. And if you look naturally in the markets over the long run, generally markets tend to go up. So I guess that's also a reason why people are more comfortable longing. Are you still a medical student? No. I was a medical student till June, the 11th of June, 2018. And that is when I went into like full time into the entrepreneurial journey. Never looked back. So yeah. I was already an entrepreneur for, well, entrepreneur. It sounds so like, ooh, mate. I had no idea what I was doing, but I was earning money with my own stuff because I was a host on TV. So I skipped every Tuesday of school because I was presenting on TV. So while my other intern colleagues in the medical study were in school, I was hosting on television. But that's the nice thing about university. They don't care as long as you pass your test. And I always made sure I made my homework and I did all my other stuff after TV if there was anything left. So I was always there. I was always, I had like at school, if there was a break, I was doing my homework. I just focused on getting my school shit done. And then I had time for the other stuff. Worked out very well. So, but yeah, I was on TV, a starting speaker, not earning much with speaking just yet, but I was just starting. I was a professional gamer till 2018. So the moment I like quit med school, I actually quit being a pro gamer in that same year. And companies approached me to work with me because I'm quite often in the media in the Netherlands, recently a newspaper, and since 2014. So since 2014, when you appear in the news on TV and radio and newspapers, when companies Google, they'll find your name and then they approach you and they're like, yo, can we work with you? Because we're curious. We want to do something in the gaming and the esports industry, but we don't know anything about it. And you're in that industry already for 11 years. So, hey, you can help us. And then I'm like, yeah, sure. But I'm at med school from 7 till 7 during the week and I have time in the weekend, but you're closed. And that was the moment when I started to doubt, like, yo, I can work with these companies. I already start doing stuff. I get opportunities. I can earn some money, but school is in my way. And that's the moment where after like 3-4 months of doubting, I was like, okay, it's time for me to take the risk. I talked with school. I got myself a 1 year sabbatical. If I didn't earn enough money in my first year of being completely focused on the business, I would go back to med school and I was allowed to continue where I left off. If I would earn enough money, and here we are now. So I earned enough in my first year to take care of myself, living in my studio, paying for everything that's necessary, and never look back. So yeah, and it hasn't always been easy, but that's entrepreneurship. When COVID hit and you're a speaker, that's when I got into trading. During the pandemic, that's when I started. So, well, actually just before, like in December, before March, the pandemic hit. So in December, I got in touch with crypto and in January with the charts. During the pandemic, if you're a global keynote speaker, because I of course, over the years, you get higher and paid gigs, and then eventually you speak global as well. Yeah, everything is canceled. Everything was insecure. You only do online gigs. You speak in front of the webcam, which is more boring, gotta say, than a live audience. I prefer live audiences. But still, in that year, I still earned enough to at least take care of myself. But that's the moment when I also got in touch with the charts. And yeah, the rest is history. From that moment, things things evolved quite quickly. trading itself was a big struggle for me in the beginning, mainly because of psychology. So that's why the biggest tip I can give is focus on your psychology as well while learning about tools and everything. But once I got the hang of it and things clicked, and there you go. Life became a lot easier. Try improving hamstring mobility and strength for your knee pain. Hamstring mobility and strength. Oh, I got a hamstring mobility. So I have a couple of exercises. Hamstring mobility exercises. So I have a couple of exercises that I do for my knee. Oh, here, Runner's World. 7 exercises to improve hip and hamstring mobility. Yeah, another thing is I'm not much of a stretcher. I've never really stretched a lot. You know, like, yeah, I played soccer in the past, so you stand a little bit like this, and you do a little bit like la, and then ups, let's go after the ball. Yeah. So, yeah, I suppose I belong more towards the stiff side. So it wouldn't hurt to improve my stretching. I actually recently, what was it? A few days ago, my wife said, "Yo, Koen, you want to join me in a Pilates? What is it? I don't know the word in English. Pilates. You know what I mean? Thing." And it was a YouTube video of 30 minutes of doing Pilates, the exercises. And it also includes stretching, which is actually quite nice. It's like a combination of strength and stretching, which I think was quite nice. Yeah. You talked about expanding flat just right now. How about a regular flat? Yeah, expanding flat is the most common. A regular flat is less common. A running flat is rare. So that's the trio. So when you look at a flat, the first option, expanding flat. That's the one. What level is the Eredivisie compared to the Premiership? I mean, I guess you're not talking about esports in this case, but then, you know, the UK is of course higher than the Eredivisie for sure. Yeah. But you do see top players from the Netherlands, of course, going to the Premier League. But if you talk about the A-Divisie compared to the E-Premier League, difficult to say because a lot of, like, the Netherlands has a lot of great FIFA players. I think earlier this year or the end of last year, we had the world champion, like the Champions League champion, the World Cup champion, the world champion, I don't know, like all that stuff. So yeah, that was a great year for FIFA in the Netherlands. How do you calculate the probabilities percentage between the different possibilities and how high a percentage before going in? So I always like this question. So with Elliott Waves, you have the rules and the guidelines. And in the beginning, right, you have a skill, right? In the beginning, your skill level, this one, is low. So subjectivity is high. You try to figure out what's happening, but actually have no clue about the rules and the guidelines, and you count, but you're counting as shit. You know, we've all been there. Like, that's the start. So subjectivity is high. You don't really know probabilities, percentages. The only thing you're focusing on is trying to count the chart, but you don't really know, like, probabilities. Or if you think you know, you're probably wrong in the beginning. And then once your skill level goes up, probably 1 year plus to get there. In my case, it was about 1.5 to 2 years. Then your subjectivity goes down, right? Skill level up, subjectivity down. It will never hit 0, right? Because you can't. It's trading. It's never, oh, I know 100% sure this is happening. So it's always, but the moment your skill level goes up, subjectivity goes down. And that's the moment where you will reach a certain amount of skill where you can be very precise with your probabilities based on all of the rules, the guidelines, the volume, the extensions, the fib retracement levels, that you can trade Elliott Waves very effectively. But before you get there, it will probably take you at least 1 year, if not longer. So the probabilities that are communicated in videos and everything, that is probabilities based on years of experience. And then knowing, I know all the rules, all the guidelines, I know the volume, I know exactly what to look for. And luckily, most of the time, I'm correct in the analysis, because else I'd have a problem as a trader myself. But also the YouTube channel very likely didn't grow to 11.4k subs in a year and a little bit, if I was wrong all the time. So yeah, it's skill versus your subjectivity. And in the beginning, we all suck, and we think we do good and try good. And when a scenario plays out, you're like, oh look, this was correct, but probably it's wrong, but it's still played out in like the direction of the direction of what you expected in price is correct, but the internal count is wrong. That's probably what happens in the beginning, and later skill comes up, and then subjectivity goes down, and that is when you can really get very effective trading. Elliott Waves. Elliott Waves doesn't necessarily give you very specific entries. It can, but I personally like to use other tools as well in confluence with Elliott Waves to get a more accurate reading, or increase, decrease probabilities a bit there and there, or have specific entries. But that's personal. Most Elliott Wave analysts use RSI, but I don't use RSI. I don't like RSI. It's a lagging indicator. Not too big of a fan of those type of indicators. Long or short? I'm in a long. Yeah, follow your plan. That would have been my answer anyway. Follow your plan, right? How do you do you share your entries or give entry points? I don't give specific entry points and share entries, but what I do is I do explain to people how to trade Elliott Wave. So in the Koens Trades channel, you see the result of trades that I have taken, where Elliott Waves is the foundation, and this is what happens after. And in the Koens Setups channel, this is where I share setups before they happen. It's not necessarily that I take them, but I talk about, okay, why was this an interesting short from an Elliott Wave point of view, in confluence with the daily naked point of control at 70k? Why was this an interesting short from an Elliott Wave point of view? So I teach people how to trade Elliott Waves. It's not necessarily, oh, I'm surely going to take this. I'm going to take this 100%, because it depends on the reaction, right? So patience and observing, right? So I say, okay, I'm interested, and I can enter earlier if I see something, but I'm patient and I'm observing. And then when price hits this level, I don't say I entered or I didn't enter, because I'm not pressing your buttons. People should decide for themselves based on their skill, their plan, their whatever. And if I don't see what I want to see, I won't enter. If people enter based on this and they have a loss, it's their problem. I don't press the button. This was a great win, by the way, because that was here, which was very nice. It's just, and that's a public channel. It's free. This is completely free. The only thing that I ask in return is to register at the affiliate platform I have, if you want to support the channel, which is very minimal, because a YouTuber only gets 0.025% or something of fees. So yeah, but nonetheless, all little bits help. And this channel will go open maybe I have to put it open actually. Yeah, why not? Let me open this up. Private, no. Yeah. Traders. Can you view it? Yes. No. This is Dutch. Welcome to a Dutch class. Send message. No. Yeah. Sure. Sure. No. There we go. But I didn't yet finish with the bonus. Like I need to write down the bonuses in the individual channels. So I now have to open these. I do that after the stream. I have to open all of these. But BingX is my main trading platform. So, you know, if someone registers, even if you don't even know, but if someone registers at BingX, you drop $100 in the account. It's free. The Koen Setups channel where I explain how to trade Elliott Waves. That for me is most important. Garish, you were already talking about it. Welcome to the team, man. What's up? Welcome to the Diamond Squad. It's higher than the top step of the podium because that would have been gold. But yo, Garish, no. What's up? Welcome to the team. Send me an email, koenztrading@outlook.com, and I will get you sorted, okay? Send me your YouTube, Discord, Telegram username so I can make sure to get you in. And there's a lot of content. Start with the FAQ in Diamond, but also Gold. Someone asked a question. Gold is where you learn all about Elliott Waves, but Gold is mainly about receiving my feedback and like Gold live streams where you can share your charts. You can ask like, hey Koen, what do you think about this particular coin? I have discount, you know, could you have a look? Gold is very much the shortening the learning curve, and Diamond is all about making a plan, developing a strategy, having insights into my data-driven strategy, insights into my Elliott Wave trading. That's Diamond. So Diamond is very much trading psychology plan, and Gold is very much focused on Elliott Waves and feedback. 1 second. Whoa. Bitcoin is short until 63K. That would be a problem. We're at 70K. But if you are short since 63K, then stick to your plan and strategy. And if you have an invalidation, stick to the invalidation. If you don't have an invalidation or stop loss, it's a bit of a problem now. So the problem is not that you're still in the trade. The problem is that before the trade, you didn't have a plan or an invalidation in that case. So, and that makes life difficult now. Now, if you're in a very big losing position, there is no financial advice that I can give, of course, because everyone will take it differently. But from my experience, I've been there as well. Luckily, I'm never in such a position anymore because of risk management. But I have learned to get out, take the hit, take the L, learn my lesson, analyze why it went wrong, and then never do it again. Bybit futures, Dasek. You can't see the channel because I need to give people access. You can see the Koens Trades channel, and then if you scroll up, you can see the steps. But I need to add the other platforms in there as well, because now I just say, hey, you got to write me an email. Where is it? Oh, here. If you can't use BingX, then send me an email. But very soon, I open the channels. Exchange info is already open now, so I open this up. So you can the links are in here as well. You just need to send me the UID though. I need to change something here as well. So yeah, I still need to work on stuff because I've got questions from the community. So about these platforms, and if I can add a link, got in touch with them, or actually they got in touch with me. So good timing. The community, I listen to the community and what they use. Cheers, Gemsy Gib. Yeah, so we were here. You try to work out what's happening, but you don't have a clue. Yeah, that's in the beginning. Yeah, absolutely, I agree. In the beginning of Elliott Waves, that's exactly that. Broadband, welcome, man. Thanks for the sub. Cheers, guys. I can't. Yeah, so I will give a summary very soon because we've already been online for 3 hours 20 minutes, so it's pretty much time to go now. Is there a way to access without gold with gold too? In that case, I will, like, if you go to the exchange channel all the way at the top now, you can have there's 3 other options, which one of them at least should work. So Bybit, BTCC, Blowfin. What's the difference between? Oh yeah, so I answered that one. Expand flag is probability wise could just range right now, and B, and then a flat has higher probabilities because the first structure down here. Oh wait, I'm not sure what time frame you're talking about. You're talking this ABC or flat. In that case, flat has a higher probability because the higher probability this is a 3 waiver, not a 5 waiver. Locally, because price touched the 1.618, probabilities are higher for this to be an impulse and not a 3-wave structure for a wave B. In other words, probabilities are higher to move up instead of doing this now for an A, B, C. And that's because the 1.618 is a very uncommon target for a wave B and a flat, but it is a target. It's just that probability-wise, it doesn't have the highest probabilities. You would first need to pretty much lose support here, and the moment you get back in the range and hit the 0.618 here, that's when probabilities change, and one could look for the flat in that case, A, B, C, and then we expect price to move up after still. But yeah, I need to do a short summary anyway in a second. After the 5 waves up. Yeah, the futures one. I will. A WXY is always a 333. A 335 is a flat. Yeah, WXYs are complex. That's the next video, Crazy Potato, as well, that I'm gonna make. A WXY is a 333 structure. A flat is a 335. That's a difference. So wave W can be a flat or a zigzag. X can be any corrective structure. Y can be a flat, zigzag, or a triangle. And wave Y can only be wave Y cannot be a zigzag if wave W is a zigzag. No problem, Crazy Potato. Ask as much as you like, yeah. Short open possible if it fits your plan, then yeah, absolutely. Depends on your plan and your strat. Okay, everyone. I'm going to do a summary and end the stream, and maybe later tonight probably a video. But yeah, we've been online for so long, so... okay, remove. Okay, so for starters, probabilities played out that we mentioned the past days, so happy days. Okay, so it's gonna be a short summary, okay? Short summary. Yo, Coffeeholic, thank you, was a great one. Appreciate that. Open short trade now depends on your plan and your strategy. If you think it's a good idea to short, then you short. I am not short, but I am not influencing or should not influence your decisions as you trade your plan, your strat. Before I would consider a short myself, I need to see weakness, levels lost, a range forming. Yeah. Anyway, we're going to cover these scenarios here in a short bit, and then probabilities ended. So yeah, bullish scenario 1, 2, 3 or WXY. Inside this first structure to the upside, it has to be said that the probabilities are a bit higher for this to be a 3-wave structure in an A, B, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 in C compared to an impulse 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, preferably had another 4, 5, but we never got that 4, 5. Instead, we moved down, overlapped with wave 1, invalidating an impulse, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which then means either your wave 1 is finished here, because we can't put it there. So yeah, but nonetheless, probabilities are higher to move up in both cases, and then as price moves up, we're going to observe if we get a 3 or a Y. Now with regards to the targets, common target for 2 is the blue box 05786, taken from the low to the high of 1 is 67, 9, 66 and 9. 382 to the 886, the whole area is your common target for X. Your wave X or 2 could be finished here. It has to be said also that ending the corrective structure here is very difficult. It's a very awkward end to this corrective structure. So therefore, I can't fully disregard a flat yet, where you have an A, B, C, because we did hit the 1.618, which is a very uncommon target for a wave B in a flat, for an A, B, C flat inside X or 2, but it is still a target. So we can't yet disregard it unless you move up to resistance to 71K. That's when it really becomes unlikely. But if this is your high and you are going to move down, and the moment you move down now and then hit the 618, 69.4K, it increases probabilities to move down, increases probabilities for a flat, and then continuation after. So then you have a flat in your wave 2 or X. So at the moment, this 618, of course, if you want to be completely safe, then it is 69.1K. You take it from the low. A little bit more risky is 69.4. So at least both of these are important to keep in mind. Inside wave X or 2, you have some additional support still, 67.8K to 68K. And then a little bit of support at 67, but that's about it. Inside wave Y, you look for a three-wave structure, A, B, C. And in an impulse to the upside wave 3, you will of course aim for a strong continuation to the upside. Preferably, if this is an impulse, it is not yet finished and we still create a bit more like a range, and at least one more move up is preferred. So range, one more move, and hit the resistance here and then observe what happens. This was resistance. Now see if it exits support. Yes or no. Waiting for a range to form. As long as price is pushing, waiting for a range is pretty much the only tip that comes from an Elliott Wave point of view, because you can't do anything when price is pumping. Got to wait for a range to reassess the probabilities. Now inside, this is now a bit outdated, of course. Potential for a WXY here. In this case, though, the bearish local scenario would, of course, be a flat A, B, C, or A finishing here, B, and then a wave C. That's your bearish scenario. To then still go up after, by the way. Bullish scenario is to continue, so that's easy. This one is almost invalidated. Your bearish scenario, if you really wanted to see much lower prices, like moving far down, you want to start with an impulse to the downside from this high, and the only impulsive structure really you had left was 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 expanding diagonal. But it's an expanding diagonal has the lowest probabilities anyway, unless all of the other stuff is invalidated, because it is a rare structure and you pretty much took the high almost. It's not yet officially invalidated, but it remains low probabilities. And also wave 4 has to be a zigzag structure, and we can't really put wave 4 here and then count this as a nice zigzag at the moment. In that case, you would also only hit the 0.618, which is a rare target for C, not a common target. So it's not great probabilities for this scenario. For the bears, in other words. Increasing probabilities, this is a three-wave structure, right? And either you finish a correction and you continue up bullish, or we label this a W or an A, you go up for a B/X, and then you move down again. Probabilities at the moment are higher for this to be a WXY double zigzag, which you can only label an A when you look, and then look for a B and a C in a bigger flat, A, B, C. That's your bearish scenario. Bullish scenario again, continuation. Yeah, and this is also that's pretty much it. So yeah, locally, nice push to the upside. It preferably at least makes another high, and you move to 71K to confirm an impulse here. If you move to 69.1K, 69.4, and probabilities do go down for an impulse. 69.1 and probabilities are higher. This is a three-wave structure, and then we're going to be looking for an ABC flat. And then in that case, look for proof of support and then look for a move towards the upside. So on the 4-hour time frame, if I zoom out, probabilities are higher still to look for higher prices, either directly or indirectly. What is going to happen between the two, move up or force down and up, depends on local price action. Now, because price hit this, the 1.618 taken from this high to the low, probabilities for a flat A, B, C are reduced compared to this being an impulsive structure where you would then aim for at least one more high, because the 1.618 is an uncommon, uncommon/rare target for a wave B in a flat. So it increases probabilities that this is an impulsive structure in a wave A, or you're going to be looking for another wave 1 or wave 3, doesn't matter, impulse. If you do move down and hit 69.4, probabilities go down. 69.1 pretty much invalidated, and then you'll be looking for the lows again for a bigger flat. So yeah, probabilities would at the moment be higher to continue just because the 1.618 is rare for a wave B, but it is still a target. Now, from an Elliott Wave point of view, price has been pumping. The only thing that I can say is wait for a range to form, and the range will give all the clarity that we then need once again. That is that. Probabilities played out. Happy days. Bullish CVD played out. Probabilities of the range played out. We took the highs. And yeah. That's that. Yeah, if you move to 71K, that increases probabilities even more than that this is an impulse and then a wave A, or maybe another wave 1, or wave 3. But yes, an impulse would be higher. So, 3.5 hours. Okay, it is time for me to go and do sports. Yes, I look forward to that. Gonna train my legs, gonna train my knee, yo. So, thanks everyone for being here. Maybe a Band-Aid here since the very beginning. Went for a jog himself as well. Came back, probably sweating, having a nice shower, maybe another coffee. Thanks for being here for so long. Everyone, thanks for being here. I really appreciate you spending some time with me during the live stream, asking all the questions, to explain a thing or two about either trading, psychology, Elliott Waves. Tonight, I guess I will. It's already 7:30. I did a summary, so am I gonna upload a separate video? I'll think about it. I will put the timestamps in the live stream, and I will highlight the summary that I've just done as well. I might make a separate video for people that weren't here, so they have it's gonna be 5 minutes anyway. So 4 overlapped 1 invalidates an impulse. So thanks everyone, and I'm gonna catch you at the next one.